of the kind of involvement that Jagdish Tytler will have in the day-to-day functioning now?
Well, exactly. This is something which has been done by the Congress Party. Again, we have seen earlier also how Congress Party has promoted Jagdish Tytler. He's one of the accused in the 1984 riots, and we have seen the people coming out whenever this happened, the victims of 1984 and the political ramifications. The Congress Party is being targeted. And
all right. We seem to be losing that audio connection with Anuj over there. We're going to fix that and go back to him. But the Congress party, of course, seems to have forgotten all that happened in the aftermath of the 1984 riots, as well as the riot, as the fact that he is a major riot accused. They seem to have given him all the responsibility that has been given to him back in the Congress party. Now, do remember that even in the Delhi municipal elections, we saw a huge role for Jagdish Tytler, even though there has been considerable anger against these moves, the Congress party going on again and making it official. So he's now officially back in the Congress party as well, and will be participating in what appears at the moment to be administration as well as other day-to-day campaigning activities for the Congress. I'm going to try and go back in a bit to Anuj, but let's listen in to reactions that we are getting to this. We'll try and play out Shehzad Poonawala's reaction from the BJP to this. So the Congress party giving more responsibility to Jagdish Tytler. Do remember that there are several cases in which Jagdish Tytler has been named in the anti-Sikh riot cases that took place in Delhi. And thereafter, of course, we did see how he was sidelined, but it appears that all of that is now forgotten, and he is now officially back into the Congress party. We are now getting reactions, of course, from various political parties. We're going to play one out that we are getting from the BJP to this.
Again, Congress party का हाथ 1984 के अपराधियों के साथ. After time and again rubbing salt into the wounds of the Sikh brethren who suffered in 1984, the Congress party has once again given a promotion to Jagdish Tytler. Earlier too, Jagdish Tytler was promoted. He was made the member of the working committee of Delhi Congress, then taken in the MCD election committee. He was also made part of the Bharat Jodo Yatra committee, and now he has been made an AICC delegate ahead of the Congress plenary session by the Delhi Congress committee. This shows that the first family completely supports and endorses Jagdish Tytler. This is the same family which justified the Sikh riots and said that when a big tree falls, the earth shakes. This family also tried and defended for 34 long years Sajjan Kumar, who was convicted only after the Modi government came to power. Time and again, the Congress party has been rubbing salt into the wounds of the Sikh victims and of the 1984 victims, and have been giving patronage to such kinds of elements. On the one hand, Rahul Gandhi says, Mohabbat ki dukaan. But this is actually the business of nafrat that the Congress party is doing by promoting and giving patronage and political support and promotion to those who have been accused of the 1984 genocide and Narsanghar of the Sikhs.
All right, let me go back across to Anuj. Anuj, what are you hearing from the Congress party? Why did they take this decision? Obviously, it does appear right now that the Jagdish Tytler will be back, in the party's fold, and obviously will be given official responsibilities as well.
Well, that's something what we have been told, and this is going to be 24 to 26th of February, let me tell you, if we talk about this plenary session. And if we talk about this plenary session, first let me also tell you that this is going to be none other but Sonia Gandhi herself, Rahul Gandhi himself, and Priyanka Gandhi herself, the top brass of the Congress party, and the first family, the Gandhis. They are going to be there, who are going to attend this particular meeting. On the other hand, let me also tell you, this is to decide the future course of action, the future strategy of the Congress party. So Jagdish Tytler is going to be a key position holder in this very plenary session, where they are going to decide about the future strategy of the Congress party, and it's specifically about the upcoming general election. So this has been repeatedly done by the Congress party, and again this has been done by the Congress party when Jagdish Tytler has been promoted once again. We have seen how the victim of 1984 riots again and again coming out on the cameras and again speaking to Republic TV also, coming out with tears in their eyes, remembering what has happened back in 1984. And Jagdish Tytler, when we are talking about, is said to be one of the accused when we are talking about 1984 riots. So this is something what has been again done by the Congress party, and as we are telling this to our viewers that this is going to be the top brasses of the Congress party who are going to be there in this plenary session which is going to happen in Raipur of Chhattisgarh. Bhupesh Baghel has been given the responsibility, but on the other hand, if we talk about the important dignitaries, if we talk about the important delegates who are going to be there, who are going to join this plenary session and who are going to be the part of that future strategy meeting, one of the name is Jagdish Tytler, and this is not happening by anyone else but from the top brasses of the Congress party. K.C. Venugopal is aware of the list, Rahul Gandhi is aware of the list, Sonia Gandhi is aware of the list, Priyanka Gandhi is aware of the list. So all the top brasses of the Congress party, including the president of the Congress party, that's Mallikarjun Kharge, is aware of this very list which has been prepared by the Congress party and the top brasses of the Congress party, and the name is there. Jagdish Tytler name is very much there in this very list.
Yes.
This exactly is the list of the delegates who are going to be there in the plenary session.
Anuj, absolutely.
Yes,
Anuj, I'm going to come back to you in just a bit, but let me go across to Mr. R.P. Singh, who's also joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Singh, what do you make of this change that the Congress party has made, and how do you see this, given the fact that Mr. Tytler, of course, has been an accused in a large number of the Sikh riot cases?
Well, they are trying to rub the salt on our wound. We all know the case is still pending. March, if I'm right to remember, 21st is the next hearing date in the Rajasthan court. And then the court has come very harsh on the CBI, asking CBI to record the witnesses which are there in the US. And then there are evidences in the record that he has tried to tamper with the witnesses. He has tried to influence the witnesses also. But as Congress is, Congress has never apologized for 1984, although on the court they say that we apologize, but they keep getting Tytler and Mr. Kamalnath back in their mainframe, although they both are accused in the 1984, and specifically in case of Mr. Tytler, the cases are still pending. But I remember, जब बड़ा पेड़ गिरता है तो धरती हिलती है, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi's statement. And then Tytler was part of, and Kamalnath was part of Rajiv Gandhi's gang who conducted the 1984 the massacre. And this is not me saying this, is the GBS Sidhu, the Rao sir, is on record, who has mentioned this in his book, saying that it was Operation Part 2, which was conducted by Rajiv Gandhi, and Mr. Tytler and Kamal have been part of the team.
Right. Mr. Singh, appreciate your speaking to us on Republic TV. So R.P. Singh over there questioning the Congress's intention with the fact that they have re-established Jagdish Tytler firmly in the party. Thank you, Anuj, to you as well for joining us. Republic TV has now accessed details of the Enforcement Directorate's crackdown which is underway in Chhattisgarh. The ED has documentary evidence that Treasurer Ram Gopal Agarwal had received 52 crore rupees. Now the money was received at the Congress Bhavan in Raipur. According to the ED, it has come across evidence that proceeds of the crime were used during the Chhattisgarh by-poll election campaign. The ED is also investigating tenders of RE Dongri Mines, the company that is linked to the Congress treasurer and the company that he was controlling. Shavan San joins me on the phone line right now. Well, we'll just have him in a bit, but as we are pointing out, of course, the ED has alleged that 3 of the Congress's leaders in Chhattisgarh are involved in the coal levy scam. Now, what essentially the ED alleges is that vehicles that were passing out of the state were levied a certain amount of money. It ranged from 100 to 500 rupees, and this was collected from vehicle drivers as they left the state. So, and the allegations of the ED also include the fact that that this money was used by the Congress party to fund elections. And what we are given to understand is that the ED says that it has documentary evidence that the treasurer Ram Gopal Agarwal had received about 52 crore rupees. The money was received at the Congress Bhavan in Raipur. The ED has also gone on to say that they have come across evidence that proceeds of crime were used during bypoll election campaign as well. Shavan Sen back with us right now. Shavan, detail for us what the allegations of the ED are against this Congress leader.
Well, in fact, for more details now emerging of the investigation that is being carried out by the Enforcement Directorate. In the earlier broadcast, we did tell our viewers that as far as the proceeds of crime are concerned, they are essentially looking at about 60 to 70 crore rupees. That's the amount that has been diverted to party funds as well as certain individuals. Now we're getting specific details that as far as the treasurer of the party is concerned, Ram Gopal Agarwal, the Enforcement Directorate suspects that he has received about 52 crore rupees, and that money was basically received at the Congress Bhavan in Raipur. In fact, the Enforcement Directorate has documentary evidence to suggest that 52 crore rupees was actually received by Ram Gopal Agarwal. In fact, they are also looking at certain tenders that were given during the RE mines distribution of iron ore is concerned. Remember, that is a company, there too, a company that has been linked to Ram Gopal Agarwal, and the Enforcement Directorate currently is looking at whether at all the entire amount that was received by him was actually used for the Congress party in election purposes, or was it also used for his individual at his individual capacity. That is now being looked at by the Enforcement Directorate. What's important to point out here is that of the 60 to 70 crore rupees, 52 crore rupees is the amount that the Enforcement Directorate suspects that it was largely used by the treasurer himself for various activities, and that is the reason why we've been now being told that the searches that are being carried out also includes the treasurer's residence, and there are two Congress MLAs, because there are some part of the proceeds of crime that was also used by two of the Congress legislators, and one Congress spokesperson is what we are picking up at this point in time.
All right, Shavan Sen joining us on the broadcast. Thank you for that information. So as Shavan is pointing out, the ED alleges that at least 3 Congress leaders are involved in this scam. A look now at what else is making news. Members of the ABVP have alleged that some left-wing students in JNU vandalized the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj portrait. The ABVP members claim that the students insulted Shivaji when the former was paying tributes to the Maratha leader. The miscreants allegedly snatched and threw down the portrait and the garlands. The AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi has put out a tweet claiming that unidentified men arrived at his residence and allegedly pelted stones at it. The AIMIM chief has also shared the concerned video after his tweet. A complaint has been registered and a probe is on. Speaking at a Vijay Sankalp rally in Kolhapur in the presence of Union Home Minister and senior colleague Amit Shah, he said that traitors had been taught a lesson and shown their place 6 months ago, apparently a reference to the split in the Shiva Sena, which brought down the Uddhav Thackeray-led Maha Vikas Aghadi. The first G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meeting under India's G20 presidency is scheduled to be held on the 24th to 25th of February in Bengaluru. The meeting will jointly be chaired by the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and RBI Governor Shaktikant Das. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has quoted Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar's viral European mindset remark during the Munich Security Conference. During the Munich Security Conference, Chancellor Scholz highlighted Jaishankar's comment and acknowledged its validity. Over a dozen residential homes were damaged in a massive landslide in the remote village in Jammu and Kashmir's Ramban district that has rendered 13 families homeless. The affected families have been shifted to safer locations and provided immediate relief, while the main road passing near the village was closed for vehicular traffic after developing cracks. The AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi has launched a scathing attack on the Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot and the former Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot over the Bharatpur case, where charred bodies of two Muslim youth were found in an SUV in Haryana. Owaisi said that Gehlot and Pilot are scared to visit the homes of the deceased as they don't want to be seen with Muslims. A youth was brutally beaten up by some people in an area in Udaipur. The entire incident was caught on tape and went viral. The police have registered a case and arrested 3 people in this matter. The assault took place allegedly after suspicion of the victim having an affair with a girl. The Delhi police took Sahil Gehlot, accused of killing his first wife Nikki Yadav and keeping her body in a refrigerator, to the Arya Samaj Mandir in Greater Noida, where they solemnized the marriage, sources said Sunday. According to sources, police have recorded statements of the temple's priests and witnesses who were present at the time of the marriage. Prime Minister Modi will virtually address the Rozgar Mela through video conferencing today. The Prime Minister has launched the concept of Rozgar Mela at the central level on the occasion of Dhanteras in the year 2022. This was the beginning of the campaign to provide 10 lakh jobs at the central level government. Now, the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has quoted the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's viral European mindset remark during the Munich Security Conference. Jaishankar, during the 17th edition of Globsec Bratislava Forum in Slovakia last year, had savagely replied to a question on India's stand on the Russia-Ukraine war and said that Europe has to grow out of the mindset that Europe's problems are the world's problems, but the world's problems are not Europe's problems.
Somewhere Europe has to grow out of the mindset that Europe's problems are the world's problems, but the world's problems are not Europe's problems. That if it is you, it's yours. If it is me, it's ours. I think that's something, and I see, reflections of that. Again, in terms of, there is a linkage today which is being made.
This quote from the Indian Foreign Minister is included in this year's Munich Security Report, and he has a point. It wouldn't be Europe's problem alone if the law of the strong were to assert itself in international relations. However, to be credible as a European or North American in Jakarta, New Delhi, Pretoria, Santiago de Chile, Brasilia, Singapore, and to achieve something, it's not enough to emphasize our shared values. We have to generally address the interests and concerns of these countries as a basic prerequisite for joint action. And that's why it was so important to me to not merely have representatives of Asia, Africa, and Latin America at the negotiating table during the G7 summit last June. I really wanted to work with these regions to find solutions to the main challenges they face: growing poverty and hunger, partly as a consequence of Russia's war, as well as the impact of climate change or the COVID-19.
So the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz over there reiterating the comment that was made by the Foreign Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar at another global summit. This remark, of course, was made last year. Let's listen in to once again to what the External Affairs Minister had said.
Where Europe has to grow out of the mindset that Europe's problems are the world's problems, but the world's problems are not Europe's problems. That if it is you, it's yours. If it is me, it's ours. I think that's something, and I see, reflections of that. Again, in terms of, there is a linkage today which is being made.
All right, our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor now on the phone line with us. Abhishek, the remark that was made by Dr. S. Jaishankar at a summit last year is reverberating even today, and we seem to be seeing Europe perhaps now finally, embracing it.
Well, first up, the fact that the fuels is going to be in New Delhi in just a few days, next week, I believe, the 25th of this month, shows that I think the Germans are aware that India is important. Also, remember, the war that is panning out in Europe, in many ways, is a reflection of the breakdown of dialogue. And that's what Prime Minister also, for example, emphasized when he said this is not an era for war and that we should be both sides should be talking, and if need be, India can facilitate. Dr. S. Jaishankar had made that specific remark in the context of European leaders and the West generally, for example, trying to prevail upon India with the request of not buying Russian oil, or for that matter, the general sanctions regime that has been put in place by the West to make sure that Russia is punished, essentially telling the world that if they cannot have a dialogue, the rest of the world has to put the will. So, for example, the food crisis that the world is facing, the fertilizer crisis that the world is facing, the fuel crisis that the world is facing, and the consequent inflation in most of the geographies of the world, owe it to the war that is taking place in Europe and the fact that European leadership has really failed to come out with a modus vivendi to deal with the situation which had been in the making for a while. It's not that Vladimir Putin on the 24th of February last year just decided out of the blue that the warning signs were there for a few years, in fact a decade or so, where this war was in the making and Europe did nothing. So that's the context in which as Jaishankar had really made that comment that Europe has to really sort out its mess and not believe that the rest of the world is there to help them in that project or to be party to it. I think in that context, Olaf Scholz really mentioning that and picking up those words clearly suggests that finally perhaps wisdom is dawning. Hopefully some move will happen in the direction of really getting some kind of data going between Russia and Ukraine and between Russia and the West.
Absolutely. Abhishek, do stay with us. Also joining us on the broadcast is Sriram Chaulia. Sriram Chaulia, good morning. How do you see the fact that Jaishankar's remarks are finally being weighed in at this conference where Olaf Scholz clearly said that the minister had a point when he said that Europe's problems are not the world's problems. And also, going on then to say that we need perhaps to have a broader negotiating tables with countries from Asia and Africa also sitting there.
Yeah, what's happened is that the Europeans, they usually have this what we call a Eurocentric vision, a kind of navel-gazing vision of the world where they believe that their problems should be given the highest priority by everyone. And but when it comes to Asia's security problems and violation of sovereignty and illegal behavior in Asia, for example, by China, the Europeans have kept quiet largely. They have not taken any kind of a harsh stance or imposed any sanctions or tried to boycott China. Even though China has occupied illegally lots of islands in the South China Sea, it is browbeating Taiwan, it is threatening India, it's trying to muscle all the smaller players into submission. So there is a hypocrisy and double standard that Dr. Jaishankar had pointed out. And now finally, it's good to hear the German Chancellor saying that we need to come out of this bubble, believing that Europe is everything and European interests should dominate over all other interests. Actually, they are not as strong as the US, but they still have this post-colonial hangover, believing that they are the leaders of the world. So what Olaf Scholz is saying is, look, there are problems in other parts of the world, and Europe has ignored them as if they don't care, Right. And now I think our efforts are paying our dividends because they have realized that a lot of countries are unwilling to go along with the European agenda. So now finally they're saying, okay, well, we have had double standards, we have had hypocrisy. Essentially, that's what he's admitting, that we have been hypocritical, we have had double standards, and now finally, we have to change our approach or else the world will stop cooperating with them. There are at least 50 to 100 countries in the world that are not going along with the Western sanctions right now. So I think they are realizing that they could be isolated. It's not about Russia, it's about Europe's own position and standing and respect in the world, and they are worried about it. And it's good that we have helped through our foreign minister's blunt talking. We have helped them to realize their folly, and hopefully they should also change their approach towards the crisis in other parts of the world, they should come out more strongly on Indo-Pacific, more strongly against Chinese aggression and violation of sovereignty by China. Only then will they be taken more credibly in our part of the world.
All right. Sriram Chaulia, appreciate your speaking to us on Republic TV. Thank you for joining us. So that's being seen largely as a reshaping of narratives by Europe as well, and a final acknowledgement perhaps of the hypocrisy that European powers have seemed to demonstrate over many decades now. You are watching Republic TV. We step into a very short break. On the other side, we bring you more news, including the Maharashtra Chief Minister Shinde calls for an urgent meeting, asks all MLAs to be present. And another provocation by North Korea as it launches another ballistic missile towards the sea.
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT-42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed now, which shows that the storm is coming as well. The HLFT-42, there was a picture of Lord Hanuman there, creating a lot of controversy. It was in theme with the design of the structure, but why the sudden decision by the HAL to remove it?
No, it was in theme. It has nothing, no specific reasons for putting it over there.
What made them get so defensive and change their mind to the point of erasing the Hanuman logo? You can't remove a logo of a god. The Hanuman logo must be brought back.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान, तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब इफ यू कैन आंसर जस्ट बिकॉज टू क्लियर द स्टैंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ETO साहब व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग एक्शन, व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज साइलेंट?
நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்த உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்த உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान, तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब इफ यू कैन आंसर जस्ट बिकॉज टू क्लियर द स्टैंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ETO साहब व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग एक्शन, व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज साइलेंट?
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT-42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed now, which shows that the storm is coming as well.
Mr. Parambir Singh, you fabricated evidences in TVR scam. Are you ashamed of it? Are you sorry for it? Who were your political bosses? Who gave you orders? Are you ashamed of the fact that it to Republic?
As the nation pays tributes, Chhatrapati Shivaji's portrait is targeted in Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi. ABVP alleges left-wing students are behind the incident, hold late-night protest in the campus. Uddhav Thackeray is set to approach the top court on the Election Commission's decision on the Shiv Sena party symbol. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde calls for urgent meet. All MLAs asked to be present. Another provocation by North Korea as it launches another ballistic missile towards the sea. In Pakistan, inflation and prices at a record high amid an economic meltdown. No hope left for the terror haven Pakistan. Hello and welcome to this edition of Live and Breaking on Republic. I'm Rukma with you, and let's start off with breaking news that's coming in from Maharashtra. As per sources, Chief Minister of Maharashtra Eknath Shinde will soon call his Shiv Sena's National Working Committee meeting. Importantly, Eknath Shinde will be appointed the leader of the Shiv Sena in the meeting, perhaps. And the Shinde camp is also likely to stake a claim for the shakhas of Uddhav's camp as well. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde is planning to visit Ayodhya with Sena workers, which includes MPs, MLAs, Sena district heads, workers and leaders. Meanwhile, Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde along with Shiv Sena MLAs is likely to meet Vidhan Bhavan Speaker Rahul Narvekar. And let's get in my colleague Alisha to take you through all the details and to give us a perspective as to the significance of this meeting that has been called by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, the timing and so on. Alisha, it's over to you to take our viewers through this very important Shiv Sena event.
Well, yes, Rukma, right after this Election Commission of India has given an order to allot party name Shiv Sena and symbol bow and arrow to Eknath Shinde's faction, there is a continuous meeting that has been called in by the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde. The most important meeting which is going to happen in Bayasab Bhavan, which we have been reporting here are all the MLAs has been called for the meeting. Importantly, in this meeting, they are also going to discuss the visit to Ayodhya, because that is somewhere they're going to show the strength in Ayodhya. Not only the MLAs but also the MPs and the leaders and workers are likely to be joining the same visit to Ayodhya. But what we even got to know that there is soon where the Chief Minister is going to call for a National Working Committee meeting where the Chief of Shiv Sena will be appointed, and that we've been told that Eknath Shinde will be appointed as the leader of Shiv Sena, because after getting the recognition, it's also very important for them to make the further strategy over the party. Not only this, but Eknath Shinde and his faction, where they are going to also claim Uddhav Thackre's shaka in Maharashtra is but even after this meeting where some of the MLAs which they are going to meet Vidhan Sabha Speaker Rahul Narvekar to asking him to hand over the Shiv Sena office of the Legislative Assembly, because we knew during the sessions where the office was sealed, and it was sealed during the split, but now where Eknath Shinde and his faction has got the recognition of the real Shiv Sena, for which they are also going to ask for the office in the Vidhan Bhavan.
Right, Alisha. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we have Uddhav Thackeray. Yesterday, we saw a very different side to the former Maharashtra Chief Minister. We saw him going to the people. We saw him trying to garner support emotional and otherwise. We saw him trying to fight, although it's rather too late. But somehow, is there a sense that he's finally woken up to the reality? Because one of the main accusations against him, because of which his MLAs and MPs deserted him, was that he had lost touch with the people.
Well, that is something in the coming days is something we'll get to know, because Uddhav Thackeray is constantly making accusation on Eknath Shinde and the Bharatiya Janata Party over the decision that has been taken by Election Commission. But yes, even Uddhav Thackeray has called for a meeting at 12 p.m. In Sena Bhavan, where the leaders, the MLAs and MPs from his faction is going to join this meeting, and it will be also over the strategy, because we know right after the Election Commission order, where the Uddhav Thackeray faction has decided to move Supreme Court challenging the order of Election Commission, and there are the leaders from the Uddhav Thackeray faction, the MLAs and the MP already present in Delhi, and they are going to move Supreme Court will also wait for an official where it will, whether they have filed an application or not, because it was the straight word from the Uddhav Thackeray that they are going to file an application, a petition challenging the order of Election Commission. But moreover, here is also step has already been taken by Eknath Shinde, because Eknath Shinde's legal team has already filed a caveat application clearly mentioning that if such application from the Uddhav Thackeray faction has been filed in the Supreme Court, so the court should not give order without hearing them. So it will be very important hearing that is also going to happen in Supreme Court once the application that will be filed by Uddhav Thackeray's legal team. We are also being joined with the other MLA from the एकनाथ शिंदे फैक्शन सदा सनवरकर सर, आज की बैठक जो है काफ़ी अहम देखी जा रही है, क्योंकि एक तरफ जहां पर नेशनल वर्किंग कमेटी की भी मीटिंग की जाएगी, उसको भी लेकर एकनाथ शिंदे की ओर से एक मीटिंग बुलाई गई है, लेकिन वही और सुप्रीम कोर्ट को मूव करने का जो एक निर्णय है वो भी उद्धव ठाकरे की ओर से लिया गया।
नहीं, आपने जो बताया वो मुझे अभी पता चला, कोई मीटिंग वगैरह नहीं है, हम लोग कुछ काम के लिए आए थे, कोई मीटिंग वगैरह नहीं है।
बट एक इम्पॉर्टेंट मीटिंग जहां पर दिख रही है, क्योंकि खुद चीफ मिनिस्टर आने वाले थे और कहीं ना कहीं पर राहुल नार्वेकर को मिलने का भी एक जो प्लान है वो
हमारे प्रवक्ता बताएंगे, मुझे कोई आइडिया नहीं, हमें मैसेज था इनको मिलने के लिए, हम लोग आ रहे हैं इसमें।
So there was a meeting that has been called, is what we've been told. We also can see even Bharat Gogavle, who is the chief whip of the Shiv Sena, Eknath Shinde's faction, who has already reached Bahasab Bhavan, and it was a meeting that was called, but the information has been sought to all the MLAs is what have been told. And here we can see that Bharat Gogavle along with Sena MLAs has already reached to the Bahasab Bhavan, and also they are going to be at the Vidhan Bhavan is what we've been told. But let's wait what exactly will be the strategy from the Chief Minister, because the Chief Minister was about to reach to the same location, but due to some of the schedule would not be able to. And of course we even know that there were several meetings of the Amit Shah as well, where Chief Minister, whether it is in Pune or whether it is in Kolhapur, when they have already reached, and we even saw there was some public meeting which has actually Amit Shah has slammed Uddhav Thackeray over his move, whether from 2019 or over, he also gave a comment over the Election Commission's order. But we'll see what is the further step, the strategy of Eknath Shinde, because there are several meetings that has already been called, and soon there will be Chief Minister who is going to also call for a National Working Committee meeting.
Right, Alisha, stay with us. Viewers, we also have with us my colleague Sandeep. And Sandeep, coming to you right now, from what we heard from Alisha and from the report that we have with us from earlier, from various press releases and the comments that were made, it's clear that the Eknath Shinde camp, the real Shiv Sena, as Election Commission has granted them the name and the symbol, well, they are hitting the ground running from the word go. There's so many meetings scheduled for today. There's the visit to Ayodhya. So take us through what's happening. Give our viewers more perspective, and so that they can understand it, because it's clearly a very important day in the politics of Maharashtra today. And as we were telling you, Alisha with us also, we are trying to get in touch with Sandeep. Leaders arriving outside the Shiv Sena Bhavan in Mumbai for that all-important meet by Eknath Shinde. And Sandeep joining us now. Sandeep, coming to you. Well, Eknath Shinde and the Shiv Sena, after having won the party symbol, clearly hitting the ground running. We'll be going across to Sandeep later on, but now it's Alisha with us once again. Alisha, give us a sense of the hustle and bustle, the leaders that are arriving there, MPs and MLAs, as you told us, they will be heading for Ayodhya to make a big statement. Clearly, Eknath Shinde, well, leaving no stone unturned to send out a very strong message in the politics of Maharashtra.
Well, yes, Rukma, because we know there is a strategy that is going to be made by the Chief Minister. There are some of the scheduled meetings that he already been lined up, and whether not only from the Mumbai but the other district as well. But what we know so far that there is a meeting of the MLA, and all the MLAs from the Bahasab Bhavan has already moved to the Vidhan Bhavan, where they are going to meet the Legislative Speaker Rahul Narvekar, and they are going to ask them to hand over the Shiv Sena office in Shiv Sena office of the Legislative Bhavan, where the assembly, which was sealed earlier during the session, where there was a split between Uddhav Thackeray's and Eknath Shinde, and the office was sealed. But now we know that the recognition that has already been given by the Election Commission, after which they are going to meet Rahul Narvekar and they are going to ask to hand over the Shiv Sena office of the Legislative Assembly to them. But moreover, what we even know, and breaking at this point, where Uddhav Thackeray has already moved to Supreme Court against challenging the order of the Election Commission of India allotting party name Shiv Sena
and Alisha, we are
symbol
actually hearing that Uddhav Thackeray has moved the Supreme Court. As we are speaking, Uddhav Thackeray has moved the Supreme Court against the Election Commission order. Uddhav too, well, not backing down. Over to you, Alisha. What are you hearing from your sources? So news there on your screens, viewers. Uddhav Thackeray, as he had stated earlier.
And it is over the challenging the order. So here we have been saying Uddhav Thackeray has already moved the Supreme Court challenging the order of Election Commission of India allotting party name Shiv Sena and symbol bow and arrow to Eknath Shinde's faction. And what have been also been mentioned in the application is that some amount of money, and there was a deal between ECI and BJP and Shiv Sena, that is Eknath Shinde's faction, and which is why there should be an early hearing, because Uddhav Thackeray's legal team has seek for an early hearing on the same, because the move that we have been constantly watching, because right after the Election Commission's order, there is a meeting that has been called. Now even we saw that the MLAs has already went to Vidhan Bhavan to asking them to hand over the office of the Shiv Sena Legislative Assembly to them. Not only this, but also there are the shakhas of the Shiv Sena which some belongs to Uddhav Thackeray faction. They are also going to stake claim. So that is something, a decision is also going to take place in the meeting that is soon
Alisha, well, to get more on the legal aspects of this case that Uddhav Thackeray has moved in the Supreme Court against the Election Commission order, we are joined by senior advocate Sapnil Kothari. Sapnil, if you could take our viewers through the legal implications of this moving of the Supreme Court. Already the Eknath Shinde camp has filed, has filed a caveat. That also we'd like to understand how it stands against this moving of the Supreme Court and against an order passed by the Election Commission. Legally, what does it all mean?
Well, a caveat, when it's filed, it's usually filed by the winning party, knowing fully well that the losing party will go in appeal. And what it means is that it tells the court that the court is not supposed to pass an order without hearing the other side, without hearing the winning party. So that's a simple technical aspect. Now, as far as moving of the Supreme Court is concerned, Mr. Thackeray is well within his rights to move the Supreme Court because he ended up losing before the Election Commission. Now, a symbol is a very, very important aspect of a party. And you already have so many people defecting your party. And then thereafter, you are losing the symbol, which again is a body blow to the party as such. So obviously, he is definitely going to fight for it. How much merit is there in that is for the Supreme Court to determine. But if an order has been passed by the Election Commission, after hearing both the sides, which I believe it is from whatever I've read in the newspapers, I believe that the way the Election Commission would have looked at it and the way I believe the Supreme Court would also look at it is that if majority people have gone on with one side, with one faction, that is the Shinde faction, that means the party is that of Mr. Shinde as such. So obviously even the symbol or any of those things should also go with that party. I believe that is the way the Election Commission would have looked at it, and that is more likely the way Supreme Court is going to look at it also. More so also because the Supreme Court will generally not interfere with an order of an independent body when it is a reasoned order, meaning it has appropriate reasons, it has been given in a proper manner, and it has heard both the sides. It has not just passed an ex parte order, meaning without hearing the other side, which I believe the Election Commission has obviously heard both the sides and then deliberated over it and then passed an order. So technically, the Supreme Court will look at it that technically everything is fine, unless Mr. Thackeray's faction, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray's faction is capable to allege that there was some sort of a malafide, there was some sort of a bias or partiality apparent on the face of the record, or a gross error. So, absent these 2-3 things, the order will stand even the scrutiny of the Supreme Court. So, I don't see much of a headway in this appeal, but nevertheless, people are entitled to appeal, and they should appeal if they feel that they have been wronged, which Mr. Thackeray has done, because he feels that he has been wronged. So obviously he needs to appeal, and he needs to put up 2-3 points which he believes, or which from whatever I've read in the papers have not been understood or heard by the Election Commission. If that is exactly the case, then I think he should go ahead and do that, and nothing stops a party from doing that. And if they're able to, if the lawyers are able to make out that yes, this was the point that was missed out, then maybe the Supreme Court may think differently. But looking at the overall circumstances, looking at the way things have spanned out in the past 6 months or a year, I don't think that the Supreme Court will interfere with the decision of the Election Commission, because the Election Commission is also a quasi-judicial body.
Right.
That means it follows the law. That is the procedure of hearing both the sides, going through evidences, and then passing an order, which it has done.
Right. Right, Mr. Kothari, thank you very much for taking us through that and for enlightening us on the legal implications of that.
Uddhav Thackeray has moved a Supreme Court challenging the ECI order over the party name Shiv Sena and symbol bow and arrow. Continuously rolling on this big story. We'll be back after a short break. Stay tuned.
Chief Minister, sir, they are, sir, or a DMK counselor, Nalo, or a soldier is dead. Chief Minister, sir, Chief Minister, sir, or army man, Kolapatrikar, or counselor, Badal Venu, Chief Minister, sir.
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்து உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnabji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
Mr. Parambir Singh, you fabricated evidences in TVRP scam. Are you ashamed of it? Are you sorry for it? Who were your political bosses? Who gave you orders? Are you ashamed of the fact that to Republic?
அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்த உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnabji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान. तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब इफ यू कैन आंसर जस्ट बिकॉज टू क्लियर द स्टैंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ETO साहब व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग एक्शन, व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज साइलेंट?
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT 42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed now, which shows that the storm is coming as well. The HLFT 42, there was a picture of Lord Hanuman there, creating a lot of controversy. It was in theme with the design of the structure, but why the sudden decision by the HL to remove it?
No, it was in theme. It has nothing, no specific reasons for putting it over there.
What made them get so defensive and change their mind to the point of erasing the Hanuman logo? You can't remove a logo of a god. The Hanuman logo must be brought back.
Mr. Parambir Singh, you fabricated evidences in TVRP scam. Are you ashamed of it? Are you sorry for it? Who were your political bosses?
A few top stories that we're tracking. Members of the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad allege some left-wing students in JNU vandalized Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's portrait. ABVP members claim students insulted Shivaji when the former were paying the tribute to the Maratha leader. Miscreants allegedly snatched and threw down his portrait and garlands. AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi puts out a tweet claiming that unidentified men arrived at his residence, allegedly pelted stones at it. Owaisi also shared concerned video after his tweet. Complaint registered to probe the incident. Speaking at a Vijay Sankalp rally in Kolhapur in the presence of Union Home Minister and senior colleague Amit Shah, he said traitors had been taught a lesson and shown their place 6 months ago. This is Devendra Fadnavis, apparently reference to split in Shiv Sena, which brought down Uddhav Thackeray-led Mahavikas Aghadi government. And coming up in other news, after a very short break, North Korea fires another ballistic missile into the sea.
Chief Minister sir, they are sir ஒரு DMK counselor நால ஒரு soldier is dead. Chief Minister sir, Chief Minister sir, ஒரு army man கொல்லப்பட்டிருக்காரு. वो counselor பதில் வேணும் Chief Minister sir. இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்த உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnabji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
Action has been taken. Action has been taken. Yeah. But is the DMK counselor? Why is the DMK not responding? But why is he not just suspended or terminated from the party?
He has been arrested. He is in the jail now. What do you want me to do?
He's a party member, right?
Yeah, so he's been arrested. What you want to hang him?
Any scene or any statement from the Chief Minister or from you or any important leaders from it would have been, see, the family is demanding a job. But still he's a Jawan, right? But he still belongs to the
He's been arrested.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान, तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब इफ यू कैन आंसर जस्ट बिकॉज टू क्लियर द स्टैंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ETO साहब व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग एक्शन, व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज साइलेंट?
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT 42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot.
AIMIM chief Asauddin Owaisi's residence was attacked last evening. That's something what has been shared by none other but Owaisi himself in the series of tweets. First, let me give you a sense from where I'm reporting. This is the residence of Asauddin Owaisi, MP Lok Sabha, and the address is 34 Ashoka Road. What has been stated in the series of tweets by Asauddin Owaisi is that there were some people who have thrown stone inside and the glass has been broken, and there was the caretaker of Asauddin Owaisi who was inside. He has stated in the series of tweets that this is not the first time when this is happening, but after 2014 this is the fifth time when his house has been attacked, and he has raised question on the government that what exactly the security of the MPs in this Latian zone is. We are just waiting for the update, and we'll be just trying to talk to Asauddin Owaisi also what exactly he has to say. But in the series of tweets he has raised question on the security and on the law and order situation in the Latian Delhi. With video journalist Anup, I am Anuj, and this is Republic.
And we continue with all the live and breaking news. Coming up in other news we're tracking, ABVP alleges left-wing students are behind an incident of vandalism in which portraits of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj are attacked.
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT 42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed now, which shows that the storm is coming as well. The HLFT 42, there was a picture of Lord Hanuman there, creating a lot of controversy. It was in theme with the design of the structure, but why the sudden decision by the HAL to remove it?
No, it was in theme. It has nothing, no specific reasons for putting it over there.
What made them get so defensive and change their mind to the point of erasing the Hanuman logo? You can't remove a logo of a god. The Hanuman logo must be brought back.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान, तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब इफ यू कैन आंसर जस्ट बिकॉज टू क्लियर द स्टैंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ETO साहब व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग एक्शन, व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज साइलेंट?
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்தோடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி சின்னசாமி எடுத்தோடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
ETO साहब, अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान, तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब, गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब, इफ यू कैन
Very good morning. Thanks for tuning in this Monday morning. We are live and breaking. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Let's take a look at the top headlines. As the nation pays tribute, Chhatrapati Shivaji's portrait is targeted in JNU. ABVP alleges left-wing students behind the incident hold late-night protest in the campus. Uddhav Thackeray is set to approach top court on the EC's decision on party symbol. Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde calls for urgent meet. All MLAs asked to be present. Another provocation by North Korea as it launches another ballistic missile towards the sea. In Pakistan, inflation and prices at record high amid economic meltdown. No hope left for terror haven Pakistan. All right, we start with the news break coming in, getting the first response of Bhupesh Baghel on the ED raids, which are underway in at least 14 locations in Chhattisgarh. Remember, several Congress leaders are also under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. This just ahead of the plenary session that would be held in the state of Chhattisgarh. So, the ED conducting raids. These are in relation. These are related to the coal scam, and we're given to understand that kickbacks amounting to 277 crore rupees was apparently received by those under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. So several questions being raised at this point at several of those Congress leaders who are under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. In fact, the tweet that has been put out by Bhupesh Baghel, where he says, and I quote, "Today the Enforcement Directorate has raided the houses of many of my colleagues, including the treasurer of Chhattisgarh Pradesh Congress Committee, the former vice president of the party and an MLA as well. After 4 days, there is a Congress convention in Raipur. Our spirits cannot be broken by stopping our comrades engaged in preparations like this." We have our senior editor Shravan who's getting us all those details.
दुनिया के 40 से अधिक देशों के प्रतिनिधियों ने इसमें शामिल होकर ग्लोबल इन्वेस्ट समिट का निवेश के महाकुंभ का स्वरूप प्रदान किया। वैश्विक व्यापारिक समुदाय से उत्तर प्रदेश को प्राप्त हुई उत्साहजनक प्रतिक्रिया 33,50,000 करोड़ रुपये से अधिक के कुल 1,900 से ज्यादा निवेश आय प्राप्त किया। चीन में 94 लाख से अधिक रोजगार के अवसरों के सृजन की संभावना है। मेरी सरकार द्वारा किए गए प्रभावी प्रयास के परिणाम स्वरूप आज उत्तर प्रदेश केंद्र सरकार द्वारा संचालित अनेक योजनाओं के क्रियान्वयन देश में अग्रणी स्थान पर है। प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना के अंतर्गत प्रदेश 8.51 करोड़ खातों के साथ देश में प्रथम स्थान पर। प्रधानमंत्री सुरक्षा बीमा योजना के अंतर्गत 4.30 करोड़ नामांकन के साथ प्रथम स्थान पर है। अटल पेंशन योजना के अंतर्गत 75 लाख नामांकन के उत्कृष्ट प्रदर्शन के साथ उत्तर प्रदेश प्रथम स्थान पर है। प्रधानमंत्री स्वनिधि योजना के अंतर्गत शहरी पथ विक्रेताओं को ₹20,000, 30,000 एवं 50,000 प्रथम द्वितीय तृतीय ब्याज अनुदान आधारित ऋण बैंकों के माध्यम से उपलब्ध कराया जा रहा है। इस योजना कुल ऋण वितरण में प्रदेश को देश में प्रथम स्थान पर। प्रदेश में निर्गत जीएसटी पंजीयन की कुल संख्या 28.03 लाख हो गई है, जो कि देश में सर्वाधिक है। मनरेगा योजना अंतर्गत वर्ष में 2022-23 में प्रदेश में अब तक 26.29 करोड़ मानव दिवस सृजित कर प्रदेश द्वारा देश में प्रथम स्थान प्राप्त किया। महिलाओं के प्रति अपराध एवं बाल अपराध संबंधी गंभीर मुकदमों हेतु विशेष न्यायालय ने दूसरे से 2 की नियुक्ति करके प्रभावी वसूली की जा रही है, जिससे महिलाओं के प्रति अपराध में 59.1% सजा की प्राप्त की गई है, जो कि देश में सर्वाधिक एवं राष्ट्रीय औसत के 2 गुने से भी अधिक है। तृतीय राष्ट्रीय जल पुरस्कार में उत्तर प्रदेश को पूरे देश में प्रथम स्थान प्राप्त हुआ है। उत्तर प्रदेश देश का सर्वाधिक दूध उत्पादक राज्य है, जिसका देश के सकल दुग्ध उत्पादन में योगदान लगभग 100% है। उत्तर प्रदेश खाद्यान्न, गन्ना, आलू, सब्जियों, फलों एवं एथेनॉल के उत्पादन में भी देश में प्रथम स्थान पर है। प्रधानमंत्री मुख्यमंत्री आवास योजना के अंतर्गत कुल 52.77 लाख आवास स्वीकृत हुए तथा गरीबों के लिए आवास बनाने में प्रदेश देश में प्रथम स्थान पर है। उल्लेखनीय है कि इनमें से 39.66 लाख आवास पूर्ण भी हो चुके हैं। प्रधानमंत्री आवास निर्माण की संख्या एवं ग्रामीण आवास निर्माण की पुरस्कार में प्रथम पुरस्कार प्राप्त है। स्वास्थ्य सुविधाओं को जन सामान्य विशेषकर समाज के अंतिम पायदान तक पहुंचने के उद्देश्य से मेरी सरकार 2 फरवरी 2020 से प्रत्येक प्राथमिक सामुदायिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्रों पर मुख्यमंत्री आरोग्य स्वास्थ्य मेले आयोजित कर रही है। इस प्रकार की पहल करने वाला उत्तर प्रदेश देश में पहला राज्य है। अब तक कुल 83 मुख्यमंत्री आरोग्य स्वास्थ्य मेले आयोजित हुए, जिनमें कुल 11.69 करोड़ रोगी लाभान्वित हुए तथा 2 लाख से ज्यादा गंभीर रोगियों को उच्च केंद्रों पर संदर्भित किया गया है। 2018 में इकोसिस्टम इंडिया एसएम फोरम द्वारा MSME के ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस में प्रथम स्थान प्राप्त हुआ है। उत्तर प्रदेश को वर्ष 2018 में राष्ट्रीय काम सेतु अवार्ड प्राप्त किया गया है। वर्ष 2018 में बुक्स ऑफ सेंट्रल लखनऊ को नारी शक्ति पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया गया है। एसोचैम नई दिल्ली द्वारा प्रदेश को बेस्ट स्टेट इन स्किल डेवलपमेंट की गोल्ड मेडल प्रदान की गई। स्वच्छ सर्वेक्षण ग्रामीण 2018 सर्वाधिक फीडबैक स्टेट एवं पेयजल स्वच्छता मंत्रालय द्वारा प्रदान किया गया। वर्ष 2018-19 में दिव्यांगजन के हितार्थ कार्य हेतु लखनऊ को सर्वश्रेष्ठ जनपद पुरस्कार प्रदान किया गया। सहकारिता विभाग को स्कॉच ऑर्डर ऑफ मेरिट गोल्ड अवार्ड प्रदान किया गया। ग्राम्य विकास विभाग को कन्वेंस में प्रथम पुरस्कार प्रदान किया गया है। उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस को यूपी 102 परियोजना पुलिस आपातकालीन प्रबंधन प्रणाली पहल के लिए विशेष पुरस्कार प्रदान किया गया। नई दिल्ली में आयोजित होने वाले गणतंत्र दिवस समारोह में प्रदेश की ओर से प्रदर्शित की जाने वाली झांकी को वर्ष 2021 वर्ष 2022 में प्रथम एवं वर्ष 2023 में द्वितीय पुरस्कार प्राप्त हुआ है। इसके अतिरिक्त महात्मा गांधी राष्ट्रीय ग्रामीण रोजगार गारंटी योजना हेतु प्रदेश को कई राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कारों से सम्मानित किया गया। वर्ष 2019-20 में ग्रामीण विकास मंत्रालय भारत सरकार द्वारा प्रदेश स्तरीय जियो मनरेगा को प्रथम स्थान प्राप्त किया है। वर्ष 2020-21 में जल शक्ति मंत्रालय भारत सरकार द्वारा मनरेगा योजना अंतर्गत नदियों के पुनरुद्धार हेतु जल का संचयन और संरक्षण में प्रदेश के कई जनपदों को प्रथम एवं द्वितीय स्थान प्रदान किया गया। प्रदेश में त्वरित परिवहन के दृष्टिगत उत्तर प्रदेश एक्सप्रेस वे औद्योगिक विकास प्राधिकरण के तत्वाधान में
we're now getting more news break. This one where we're given to understand it's yet another jolt for Uddhav Thackeray as the matter, the Shiv Sena symbol matter was taken to the top court, but the Supreme Court having made it clear that it will not hear the Uddhav faction case today. The matter we're given to understand would be heard by the Supreme Court tomorrow. Alisha getting us that news break. Alisha, that's another blow for the Uddhav Thackeray-led faction. Give us more details.
Well, yes, Samiksha, we know that Uddhav Thackeray faction has already moved the Supreme Court challenging the order of the ECR allotting Shiv Sena's party name and symbol bow and arrow to Eknath Shinde's faction. But here is the round the jolt to Uddhav Thackeray because Chief Justice of India has clearly mentioned that your name is not mentioned in the list, so come tomorrow. We know that Uddhav Thackeray's legal team has already approached for an early hearing while mentioning the petition before the Supreme Court. But CJ has clearly mentioned that your name is not mentioned in the list, so not today, where the Supreme Court is not going to hear the matter today, but to come tomorrow. So it's indeed another jolt. But on other side, we are also been seeing that the MLAs from the Eknath Shinde's faction and the real Shiv Senas has already reached Vidhan Bhavan, where we have been reporting from, and there are the adequate police officials has also been deployed. And here are the MLAs who have already reached Vidhan Bhavan. They met Speaker Rahul Narvekar to asking him to hand over the office, Shiv Sena office, which was sealed during the session, because during the split where the session was underway and there was a split between Uddhav Thackeray and Eknath Shinde, where the office in the Legislative Assembly was sealed. But now we see that the office has already been handed over to real Shiv Sena, that is from the Eknath Shinde's faction, where the MLAs led by Whip Chief Bhagat Gogavle, who was present with the other MLAs as well. They went to meet Rahul Narvekar, asking them to hand over the office. So the office has also been allotted and been given to Eknath Shinde, which is now being recognized as the real Shiv Sena.
Alisha, there's another news that came in just linked to the Uddhav faction versus the Eknath Shinde faction, that the Shinde camp is planning to visit Ayodhya in the days to come. There was a meeting also that was shared by the Maharashtra minister. If you could give us more details on what exactly was discussed in this meeting that was shared by the Maharashtra chief minister.
Well, yes, that was an announcement made earlier by the Chief Minister Eknath Shinde that along with his MLA, he is definitely going to visit Ayodhya. But it was all over the order that is to be given by the Election Commission of India, because the first application that was filed by Eknath Shinde, where he already mentioned he got 50 MLAs and 13 MPs with him, and their party, their faction should be recognized as the Shiv Sena. So they were actually waiting for Election Commission to pass its order after the number days of hearing that has happened in Election Commission of India, where both the parties has also given their written submissions clearly mentioning the numbers of the party holders that they have been getting a support of. But a day before yesterday, when we know that Election Commission has already
and also allotted bow and arrow. So here the strategy is going to be made by the chief minister as well. Moreover, what we even know that in the coming days, where there will be, we can also see the visuals of Shiv Sena MLA Pratap Sarnayak, who has already reached to Vidhan Bhavan, and more MLAs are reaching to the Vidhan Bhavan. And what is important to know, the visit of Ayodhya will be something, a show of strength, because what we have been witnessing since days, and what has also been showed and mentioned in the letter as well that was given to Election Commission, that they have the numbers, they have the majority, and the Ayodhya visit from the Eknath Shinde's faction is being awaited since many days, and they were waiting for Election Commission to give its order, and now getting the real recognition that they are the real Shiv Sena. So soon there will be a meeting that is going to be called by the Chief Minister, and that meeting will be of National Working Committee, where what we even told that Eknath Shinde will be appointed as the leader of Shiv Sena, and soon there will be a strategy and the date to be fixed to the visit to Ayodhya, where not only the MLAs but workers as well as the leaders, and they are also going to be present when they are going to visit Ayodhya.
Alisha, for our viewers also who are just tuning in, if you can take us to what all can be expected today. We understand that the Shiv Sena office, like you mentioned earlier, which was sealed, will now officially be handed to the Shinde, Chief Minister Shinde-led camp. All right. Alicia, just stay with us. We are getting in visuals right now that, and of course, updates that the office has officially been handed over to Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena. Take us through all those details, and also what arguments can we expect in the top court tomorrow when the matter is heard by the top court tomorrow.
Well, Samiksha, yes, the office has already been handed over to Eknath Shinde's faction because they have been recognized as the real Shiv Sena. We are continuously been seeing in the visuals as well that there are more and more MLAs and the ministers who have already been reaching to Vidhan Bhavan. This was the only reason they have to reach Vidhan Bhavan because it's all up to the ECI order, and now the ECI has clearly given a recognition to the Eknath Shinde faction as the real Shiv Sena, and bow and arrow symbol that has also been allotted to Eknath Shinde's faction. So moreover, it is something now they are also going to take claim because the sources have indicated not only this office, because of course the Vidhan Bhavan office, which is the legislative office of the Shiv Sena, that was sealed during the session that was underway, and during there was a split between Uddhav Thackeray and Eknath Shinde, and also we saw that both the faction was actually claiming to be the real Shiv Sena earlier, which is why the office was sealed. But now getting the real recognition, after which the MLAs has already had a meeting, and after the meeting they have reached Vidhan Bhavan. They met Rahul Narvekar, and they have asked to get the handover of the Shiv Sena party's office, and we even see in the visuals that the office of the Shiv Sena in the Vidhan Bhavan has already been handed over, and it will be an official office of Eknath Shinde's and his faction, which has been now recognized as a real Shiv Sena. Now coming to the Supreme Court, as you asked, Samiksha, yes, it's another jolt to the Uddhav Thackeray as well, because as he moved to the Supreme Court challenging the order of the Election Commission of India allotting the symbol and the party name to Eknath Shinde's faction, but the Supreme Court Chief Justice of India has clearly mentioned that your name has not been mentioned, because Uddhav Thackeray before the top court was seeking the earlier hearing where they have mentioned the petition, but Supreme Court has clearly mentioned that your name has not been mentioned, which is why you can come tomorrow. So what has also been mentioned in the application, that it is something, the deal that has been happened between ECI, BJP and Shiv Sena, that is Eknath Shinde's faction, and which is why Supreme Court has to intervene, because the recognition of Shiv Sena, it is something, the legacy of Bayasaheb Thackeray, which only belongs to Uddhav Thackeray, is what has been mentioned in the application. But we'll see what exactly the Supreme Court will look into it, because the caveat application has also been filed by Eknath Shinde, clearly mentioning that if Uddhav Thackeray moves to the Supreme Court challenging the order of ECI, so court should not give any directions without hearing their side as well. So caveat application has already been filed, and Uddhav Thackeray team has already moved to Supreme Court. So we'll see what exactly been happening in the court tomorrow, because it's very important hearing that is going to take place. It's a setback for Uddhav Thackeray for a day, of course, because they were expecting that Supreme Court will hear the matter today itself on an urgent basis. But Chief Justice of India has clearly mentioned that your name has not been mentioned in the list, so come tomorrow.
All right, Alicia, getting us all those details. Shinde faction having taken over the Vidhan Bhavan office. The visuals, of course, on your screens right now. Alicia, thank you for the moment, and of course also a setback that has come in for the Uddhav camp, as the Supreme Court will not be hearing the matter today. So tracking all those updates very closely, getting in the update that the office has now been handed over to the Shinde-led camp, whereas the Supreme Court has made it clear that it will not be hearing the plea of Uddhav Thackeray-led camp today, and that the plea is not mentioned in the Supreme Court's list for today. News in brief, members of the ABVP have alleged that some left-wing students in JNU vandalized Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj portrait. In JNU, the ABVP members have claimed that the students insulted Shivaji when they were paying tribute to the Maratha leader. The miscreants allegedly snatched and threw down the portrait of Chhatrapati Shivaji as well as the garlands.
गांव-गांव में इंटरनेट सेवा, डिजिटल सेवा देने वाले कॉमन सर्विस सेंटर्स में भी हजारों युवा काम कर रहे हैं। साथियों, जैसे जैसे उत्तराखंड के दूर सुदूर के इलाके रोड, रेल और इंटरनेट की कनेक्टिविटी से जुड़ रहे हैं, वैसे वैसे टूरिज्म सेक्टर का भी विस्तार हो रहा है। नए नए पर्यटन स्थल टूरिज्म मैप में आ रहे हैं। इसमें उत्तराखंड के युवाओं को वही रोजगार घर के नजदीक मिल रहे हैं जिसके लिए वे पहले बड़े शहरों का रुख करते थे। मुद्रा योजना टूरिज्म में रोजगार और स्वरोजगार को बल देने में बहुत मदद कर रही है। इससे दुकान, ढाबे, गेस्ट हाउस, होम स्टे ऐसा व्यवसाय करने वाले साथियों को 10 लाख रुपए तक का ऋण बिना गारंटी के मिल रहा है। पूरे देश में अभी तक 38 करोड़ मुद्रा ऋण दिए गए हैं। ये ऋण पाने वाले लगभग 8 करोड़ युवा पहली बार उद्यमी बने हैं। इसमें भी महिलाएं, एससी, एसटी, ओबीसी वर्ग के हमारे साथी, उनका हिस्सा सबसे ज्यादा है। उत्तराखंड के हजारों साथी भी इसका लाभ ले चुके हैं। साथियों, भारत के युवाओं के लिए ये अद्भुत संभावनाओं का अमृतकाल है। आपको इसे अपनी सेवाओं के माध्यम से निरंतर गति देनी है। एक बार फिर आप सभी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं और मैं आशा करता हूं कि आप उत्तराखंड के लोगों की उत्तम सेवा करेंगे। उत्तराखंड को आप उत्तम बनाने में योगदान देंगे और इससे हमारा देश भी सशक्त होगा, समर्थ होगा, समृद्ध होगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
All right, so Prime Minister there launching the Rozgar Mela at the central level on the occasion of Dhanteras. The visuals there on your screens, Prime Minister addressing the Rozgar Mela. Another provocation by North Korea as it launches another ballistic missile towards the sea. In Pakistan, inflation and prices at record high amid economic meltdown.
Chief Minister, sir! Chief Minister, sir! Chief Minister, sir! There, sir, or a DMK counselor, Nalo, or a soldier state, Chief Minister, sir! Sir, Chief Minister, sir! और आर्मी मैन कोलपट्टकर वो काउंसलर बादल वेणु चीफ मिनिस्टर सर
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்தோடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
Mr. Parambir Singh, you fabricated evidences in TVR scam. Are you ashamed of it? Are you sorry for it? Who were your political bosses? Who gave you orders? Are you ashamed of the fact that to Republic?
அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்த உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान. गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब इफ यू कैन आंसर जस्ट बिकॉज टू क्लियर द स्टैंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ETO साहब व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग एक्शन, व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज साइलेंट?
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT 42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed now, which shows that the storm is coming as well. The HLFT 42, there was a picture of Lord Hanuman there, creating a lot of controversy. It was in theme with the design of the structure, but why the sudden decision by the HL to remove it?
No, it was in theme. It has nothing, no specific reasons for putting it over there.
What made them get so defensive and change their mind to the point of erasing the Hanuman logo? You can't remove a logo of a god, the Hanuman logo.
So there was a counter allegation coming in from your end as well. We had seen that how you have been raising questions against the government time and again, as you have been since the time you have began your padayatra. What do you have to say on these derogatory remarks which are being made by the BRS?
You tell me, as a woman, how fair is it that when a woman leader is fighting for the cause of the people, is walking in the hot sun for 3,800 kilometers, raising the issues of the people, questioning the government why they are not fulfilling the promises made at the time of elections for their votes, and questioning on the corruption of the ruling party? Why am I being the target just because I am a woman? How fair is it? Because the kind of language that is used against me by the ministers themselves and the MLAs also is really, really offensive. There are comments like one minister called me a Sali, another one called me Shikandi, another one said he will crush me like a worm. Another one said he will see how I will step out of the house. Another one said, how can you, being a woman, talk like this? And another one called me a eunuch. So what kind of an attitude is this? What civilization are we living in? So being a woman, their point is that I am not supposed to question because I am a woman. Is that the point they're trying to say? They're saying, how can I talk like this being a woman? So women are not supposed to question? Women are not supposed to be in politics? Women are not supposed to fight for the people of Telangana? So just because I attempt to do that, just because I am the one who is courageous enough to question their corruption, I am being targeted this day. How fair is it? How long do I take this? So the only thing I did was, when this MLA in the place that this padayatra was foiled a couple of days ago, the MLA called me a eunuch. And I only reacted to that and said, how am I an eunuch? Aren't you the eunuch for not fulfilling the promises you made to the people of Telangana? And for that, an SC/ST atrocity case was filed upon me. So what they're saying is, because he's an ST, he can call me a eunuch. And I am supposed to take it in hands lying down. I am not supposed to react. So they can do anything they want. They can do all the corruption they want. They can call me derogatory names. And I am not supposed to do anything. I am not supposed to call them back anything else. Is that what the TRS party, isn't that what the BRS party is doing now? So where are the rights of the women? This kind of derogatory language has to stop. There has to be a full stop. Just because I'm bearing it, just because I'm enduring it, just because I'm taking it, it doesn't mean that this can go on an endless journey. No, it has to stop. The people have to understand that the BRS party has to understand action has to be initiated against them. Today I am going to the Women's Commission itself, stating the comments they made, the names they called me, and who called me, exact details, exact videos, paper clips, everything with evidence. We are giving it to the Women's Commission to initiate action against the people who call me all these derogatory names.
You say that KCR fears Sharmila, but then also I would add here that not only you, there are other parties like Congress, like BJP, who have already began their padayatras, because we are seeing that there's an election going to be held here in Telangana in this year end. So do you think that only you are being targeted by the BRS party? Because you have been repetitively said this, that KCR and the BRS party is trying to stop you.
Exactly, because Revanth Reddy is doing an yatra and the BRS party is not stopping them. They are not filing that. The BJP party also is doing what it wants. The only reason KCR is obstructing me is because YSR Telangana party is gaining momentum. And the kind of yatra the Congress party or the BJP party is doing, the people know that there is no integrity in those yatras. Now if you take Revanth Reddy's padayatra, supposedly padayatra, Revanth Reddy walks a few kilometers, then he sits in a car and then he drives a few kilometers and then he gets down, walks where he wants, drives where he wants. So if people see these kind of activities, they are not going to appreciate it. So Revanth Reddy or Bandi Sanjay, even Bandi Sanjay has been doing some yatras, but there is no consistency in them. Okay. While what I am doing, I have actually walked 3,800 kilometers on foot itself. And the people know the integrity of this. So they see through, they're not dumb, they're not insensitive to all of this. So obviously the people recognize that YSR's daughter is the one who's actually fighting for the people, who's actually doing the walking, who's actually fighting against the corruption of KCR. Because Congress or BJP, 8 years.
They are not competent enough to fight against the BRS.
You tell me, how were they competent enough? Because 8.5 years now, KCR is in the government. 8.5 years, what has the Congress or the BJP done to fight against the corruption of KCR? Have they, like me, gone to Delhi? Have they approached the CBI? Have they approached the CAG? Have they even raised the issue that 80% of the projects, medium-sized, large-sized projects are given to one mega company in Telangana? Has anyone spoken about this? I am the one who's saying that the Kaleshwaram is the biggest scam of India today. Why hasn't the Congress or the BJP? Kaleshwaram is not a project that came after I came into politics. It's been there since 8 years. So why haven't they spoken about it? So where is the integrity in it? All those people are bought off by KCR. That's the fact of it.
You have been raising a lot of allegations yesterday also during your press conference. You say that women are not being respected and Telangana is the new Taliban and the KCR is the Afghan for that. Why such comments?
Because in Telangana there is no democracy. The Indian constitution is respected all over India but not in Telangana. In Telangana there is the KCR's constitution. In Telangana, even though farmers kill themselves, there is no recognition, there is no acknowledgement, there is no, bharosa given to them. In Telangana, there are no jobs to the youth, and even though there are 191,000 jobs that have to be filled, there are no notifications given to them. In Telangana, the women, the cases against women, the atrocities against the women are the highest in Telangana, probably the number one in the country.
But you have compared a state, Telangana state, with Afghanistan, and you have compared it.
Exactly. Because he is the tyrant, because he suppresses the voice of the opposition, because he suppresses the voice of the media, even the media people, if they talk anything, like say for example, in the constituency that my padayatra was foiled upon, that MLA itself has filed cases against journalists, SC/ST cases against journalists, just because they wrote against him. How fair is that? So there is no opposition voice, and if there is no opposition voice, what do you call this? This is definitely the Afghanistan, and KCR is the Taliban leader.
Right. One last question. What would be your next move? Will you be approaching the High Court and also getting permission again, because permission has been denied for your padayatra?
Exactly. Once again, for the fourth time, I think we'll need to approach the court again. We are in fact going today or tomorrow to the court asking for a fresh permission.
Will you be visiting Governor also?
Yes, we are trying. Yes, we are. Thank you.
So that was YSRTP Chief Y. Sharmila speaking to us on Republic TV in connection with her padayatra being halted once again by the police officials after a massive face-off between the BRS and the YSRTP.
In what is a massive jolt for the Uddhav Thackeray-led faction of the Sena, the Supreme Court has decided that it will not be hearing the case today. Meanwhile, of course, the Shinde faction is all set to take over the Vidhan Bhavan office. Do remember that after there was a split, the office had been sealed. But however, after the Election Commission granting the symbol and the name to the Shiv Sena faction led by Eknath Shinde, that office is now going to be handed over. Let's go across to Alisha, who's reporting on this. Alisha, give us a sense of what's happening. We are told that this office is being handed over even as we speak. But as that happens, there's been another jolt for Uddhav Thackeray.
Well, yes, Nupur. Firstly, if we go over the office that has been handed over to Eknath Shinde's faction, which is yes, because right after the Election Commission of India has recognized Eknath Shinde's faction as the real Shiv Sena and also the symbol that has been allocated to Shinde's faction, clearly mentioning that they have the majority. But moreover, here is the MLAs, the Shiv Sena, real Shiv Sena MLAs who have reached Vidhan Bhavan, and right after that they have met even the Speaker Rahul Narvekar, because during the Maharashtra Assembly, where the office was sealed because of the split between Eknath Shinde and Uddhav Thackeray, the official office of Shiv Sena in the Legislative Assembly was sealed. But now, when the EC has already given a recognition as a real Shiv Sena to Eknath Shinde's faction, now they have come to claim and they have already asked the Speaker to hand over the office, and the official office of the Shiv Sena in the Legislative Assembly has already been handed over to Shinde Group, and we even saw there was MLAs who are still present. Moreover, what we even know, the Chief Minister is also going to have a National Working Committee meeting. In the same meeting where the Chief of the Shiv Sena is also going to be appointed, and most likely and importantly it will be Eknath Shinde, because the term of the Chief of the Shiv Sena, which Uddhav Thackeray has already ended, and now there will be a National Working Committee meeting that is going to be happen, and in the same meeting where Eknath Shinde is to be appointed as the chief of Shiv Sena party, but that is something going to be taken in the National Working Committee meeting that is going to happen. But moreover, yes, it's another jolt in the Supreme Court as well, because right after the ECI order, where Uddhav Thackeray has moved the Supreme Court challenging the order of Election Commission of India allotting Shiv party name Shiv Sena and symbol bow and arrow to Shinde's faction. But here is the Chief Justice of India clearly mentioning that there is no name mentioned in the list, which is why they have been asked to come tomorrow. The application that was mentioned before the court, but it has not been mentioned in the list, is what has been observed by Chief Justice of India, and they have been asked to come tomorrow because Uddhav Thackeray was actually seeking for an urgent hearing over the decision, challenging the decision of Election Commission of India.
All right, so details coming in over there in terms of what the next steps are going to be for Uddhav Thackeray's faction. But as Alisha is pointing out, right now it appears that Eknath Shinde's faction has taken over their Vidhan Sabha office as well as other areas where the party used to function. Thank you for the moment, Alisha, for joining us. And still to come, the ABVP alleges left-wing students are behind the incident at JNU. And another provocation by North Korea as it launches another ballistic missile towards the sea.
Chief Minister, sir! Sir! Chief Minister, sir! Chief Minister, sir! There, sir! Or a DMK counselor! Nalo, or a soldier is dead! Chief Minister, sir! Sir, Chief Minister, sir! और आर्मी मैन कोलमट्रिकर वो काउंसलर
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்து உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnabji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
Action has been taken.
Action has been taken.
Yeah.
But is the DMK councillor? Why is the DMK not responding? But why is he not suspended or terminated from the
He
party?
has been arrested. He's in the jail now. What do you want me to
He
do?
is the party member, right?
Yeah, so he's been arrested. What you want to hang him?
Any dream or any statement from the chief minister or from you or any important leaders from it would have been. See, the family is demanding a job. But still, he's a Jawan, right? But he still belongs to the
Has been arrested.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान. तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब इफ यू कैन आंसर जस्ट बिकॉज टू क्लियर द स्टैंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ETO साहब व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग एक्शन, व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज साइलेंट.
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT 42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed.
Welcome back. You are watching Republic TV, and there's a major controversy that is brewing in the Jawaharlal Nehru University. This after there are allegations that students from the left wing had in fact taken off the garland of that was being put on a picture of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj on his birth anniversary. Now, the ABVP, of course, has accused these left-wing workers of vandalizing the portrait. And also thereafter, of course, taking away the garland. Madhurima joins us right now on the broadcast. She has more details now. Madhurima, give us more details in terms of what really happened now. We are told that the ABVP says that there were students from the left wing who were behind this incident, also going on to say that there seems to be a concerted effort that's being made by the left wing.
Well, yes, absolutely. Before these are the allegations that have been raised by the ABVP here at the Jawaharlal Nehru University. They have been pressing upon this fact since yesterday that time and again the JNU Student Union have been hindering in one or the other endeavors of theirs, and yesterday was no different. And we see this just after the BBC documentary controversy that broke out in JNU. Let me take you to the picture as well. This is the gate where the ABVP organized a march yesterday, and you can still see that the guards are on alert today. They are scrutinizing whoever is entering, because a very serious allegation that was leveled yesterday was those who created ruckus at the Tytler area in the university were not even the students in Jawaharlal Nehru University, and which is why you can see today the guards are standing in more alert condition today, and they are looking at whosoever is entering the university, and time and again they are also checking for the IDs. Yesterday what happened was that the ABVP had organized a small
program at the Tytlers, which is the community center open for all. They had put out 2 portraits of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj there on a table on Tytlers and one on the wall. And after everybody paid their respect and left from the premises, came back couple of hours later, what they found was that the photographs, the portrait that were initially placed on the tables with garlands on them were lying on the floor with the glass shattered and the garlands in the dustbin. Now this created a lot of furor in the vicinity that also unraveled into a massive scuffle between the two sides, the JNU Student Union and the ABVP. The ABVP workers over here, they also alleged that they were also hurt. They will be filing a formal complaint at the Vasant Kunj area police station. We'll be waiting for that as well. But as of now, calm persists in JNU. But the security on alert as it is still vulnerable. It's been less than 24 hours. We'll wait and watch as to what happens next.
All right, stay with us, stay with us, Madhurima. Let's quickly listen into reactions that we are getting of what really transpired at the Jawaharlal Nehru University.
Controversy erupts in JNU over Shivaji Jayanti celebration after ABVP installed the photos and portraits of Chhatrapati Shivaji, Maharana Pratap and Jyotiba Phule. Soon the photos were vandalized. We are joined by ABVP student as we can see the high voltage drama which erupts inside and outside the JNU campus. We are joined by ABVP students. क्या हुआ था, पूरा मामला क्या है, तो शुरू से बताइए।
मामला देखिए कि आज शिवाजी का जयंती है और उनके हम लोग टेफलाज यहाँ पे एक जगह है जहाँ पे कि छात्र संघ का भवन भी है, वहाँ पर हम लोगों ने अपना कार्यक्रम रखा था। वीर शिवाजी का जो प्रतिमा थी उसका माल्यार्पण हम लोग ने किया और अनावरण करके हम लोगों ने उसको उस पर टांग दिया था। उसके बाद हम लोग शांति से अपना चले गए थे, लेकिन इन लोगों ने क्या किया कि उनके प्रतिमा को उतारा ही नहीं बल्कि उतार के फेंका और साथ में जो माल्यार्पण हम लोगों ने किया था उसको डस्टबिन में डाल दिया। और इसके साथ साथ वहाँ कई ऐसे थे जैसे ज्योतिबा फूले हो गए या फिर अंबेडकर जी को, उनके मूर्तियों तक को इन लोगों ने उतार दिया। और ये देखिए एक छात्र है जो कि इसका आंख पे आपको सामने दिख रहा है, ये चोट लगा हुआ है। देखिए ये चश्मा पे मारा गया, ऐसे मारा गया कि देखिए।
ये आपको चोट किस वक्त आई? जिस वक्त 6 बजे आप लोग फोटोज लगाए थे, जब सेलिब्रेट कर रहे थे जयंती, ये उस वक्त का मामला है कि थोड़ी देर बाद ये सफल हुआ?
मैम बात ये हुआ कि 8:30 बजे हमने महाराणा प्रताप जी की महाराजा शिवाजी जी की फोटो लगाई। 9 बजे हम लोगों की मीटिंग थी। 9 बजे जब हम लोग मीटिंग के लिए पहुंचते हैं तो उसके बाद जो महाराजा जी की जो फोटो थी छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की, वो फोटो डस्टबिन में गिरी मिलती है। उसके बाद जब हम दोबारा
सर हम लोगों ने अनुरोध किया था, हम लोगों ने एक पोस्टर निकाला था, उसमें था कि हम लोग छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की जो फ़ोटो है, तस्वीर है, उसको स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी सेंटर में लगाएंगे। पिछले साल भी ऐसा सेम मामला आया था एक जिसमें हम लोगों ने अनुरोध किया था कि हम लोग महाराणा प्रताप जी की फ़ोटो को वहाँ पे लगाएंगे। उस साल JNU-SU ने एक पर्चा निकाला था जिसमें उन लोगों ने स्पष्ट लिखा था कि ऐसी कोई भी फ़ोटो नहीं लगेगी जो JNU मतलब जो देशभक्त हो। इस बार सेम पैटर्न को फॉलो किया गया। उन लोगों ने पर्चा तो नहीं निकाला, लेकिन जब हम लोगों ने फ़ोटो लगाया वहाँ पे तो उन लोगों ने हम लोगों ने फ़ोटो पे पुष्पांजलि अर्पित की थी और जो माला चढ़ाया था, तीनों को कचरे के डिब्बे में फेंक दिया। और उन लोगों ने बाहर से गुंडे को बुलाया क्योंकि उन्हें हम छात्र नहीं कर सकते।
You're watching Republic TV, and still to come, Uddhav Thackeray will be moving the top court today. And in Pakistan, inflation and prices are at a record high amid the economic meltdown.
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT 42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed now, which shows that the storm is coming as well. The HLFT 42, there was a picture of Lord Hanuman there, creating a lot of controversy. It was in theme with the design of the structure, but why the sudden decision by the HAL to remove it?
No, it was in theme. It has nothing, no specific reasons for putting it over there.
What made them get so defensive and change their mind to the point of erasing the Hanuman logo? You can't remove a logo of a god. The Hanuman logo must be brought back.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान, तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे। ETO साहब इफ यू कैन आंसर जस्ट बिकॉज टू क्लियर द स्टैंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट। ETO साहब व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग एक्शन, व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज साइलेंट?
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்து உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்து உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
Houses have been damaged due to land subsidence in the area of the Sangal Dance Duxar Nala in Ramban district of Jammu. Right now we are at the ground zero. Republic is reporting, the only channel reporting from the ground zero where this land subsidence has taken place, and here you can see that the land subsidence has taken place to a large extent. The houses, they have collapsed. This was a triple story house, but is now limited to the 2.5 stories, as this has subsidized 50 meters from the original place where it actually was. What has happened? We'll try to speak to some of the locals here. Mataji, hua kya?
सारा मकान क्रैक हो गया मकान।
कितने बजे का वाकया है?
3 बजे बचा कर अंदर 3 बजे माल बचाया, सब माल बचाया, निका बचा बचाया
जी।
मजदूरी करे, मजदूरदार बचा अपना मकान लुट गया। हम कहीं जाएगा, किस खदाई में जाएगा, क्या करांगा?
Families in grief. Around 50 people, they have lost their houses and they don't know what to do next. They don't know where to go next. We'll try to speak to some more people. मुझे ये बताइए क्या हुआ, पूरा वाकया क्या?
3 बजे सर, कल रात 3 बजे ये सारी स्लाइड ऊपर से आई, इसमें 13 कार निकल गए, उनको कोई नाबूद नहीं, वो सब निकल गए। 50 कार का खतरा और 15 कार ये नीचे है इसमें।
जब ये हुआ क्या हुआ?
ये हम सुते थे अंदर, हाँ, फिर भाग गए, सामान सब इधर ही रह गए, हम भाग गए इधर से, बच्चे शच्चे बाहर निकाले हमने, हाँ, और माल शाल ऐसे अंदर से वो निकाला बाहर, पता नहीं कहाँ गया कहाँ नहीं, बस हम ऐसे बैठे।
क्या कहना चाहेंगे प्रशासन?
हम ये कहना चाहते हैं कि हमारे लिए कोई किसी जगह हमको भेजे थे, हमको शिफ्ट कर दे किसी जगह में।
Well, you're watching Republic TV. We slip into a short break. On the other side, more news coming your way, including the Congress party elevates Jagdish Tytler, the 1984 riots accused.
भागीदारी के लिए विभिन्न देशों से संपर्क किया गया तथा निवेश प्रोत्साहन हेतु विभिन्न देशों के 21 शहरों तथा देश के प्रमुख नगरों मुंबई, बेंगलुरु, हैदराबाद, चेन्नई, दिल्ली, कोलकाता और चंडीगढ़।
Chief Minister sir, Chief Minister sir, there sir, ஒரு DMK counselor நால ஒரு soldier state, Chief Minister sir, Chief Minister sir, ஒரு army man கொல்லப்பட்டிருக்காரு, वो counselor
சின்ன சாமி எடுத்து உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
Mr. Parambir Singh, you fabricated evidences in TVRP scam. Are you ashamed of it? Are you sorry for it? Who were your political bosses? Who gave you orders? Are you ashamed of the fact that to Republic?
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்து உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग a campaign demanding the Khalistan. तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है?
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT 42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed now, which shows that the storm is coming as well. The HLFT 42, there was a picture of Lord Hanuman there, creating a lot of controversy. It was in theme with the design of the structure, but why the sudden decision by the HL to remove it?
No, it was in theme. It has nothing, no specific reasons for putting it over there.
What made them get so defensive and change their mind to the point of erasing the Hanuman logo? You can't remove a logo of a god. The Hanuman logo must be brought back.
There's mega crackdown in Chhattisgarh. The ED raids at least 14 locations. 2 Congress netas are under the scanner. The ED recovers key kickback diary in the raids in connection with the coal levy scam. A massive scam unravels as 270 crore rupees were allegedly paid in kickbacks. They are now under the ED scanner. The Congress party is at it again, promotes the tainted Jagdish Tytler. There's ruckus inside the Uttar Pradesh Assembly as some Samajwadi Party leaders enter the well of the House. And there's setback for Uddhav Thackeray as the Supreme Court decides to hear the case tomorrow. Good afternoon and thank you very much for joining us on Live and Breaking. This is Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. Straight off to news that's just coming in. We're now learning that in Canada, Pro-Khalistan groups are protesting outside the Indian consulate in Vancouver. People have gathered with flags in support of Khalistan and are raising pro-Khalistan slogans in Vancouver. So there you have it. Pictures on your screen are of pro-Khalistanis protesting in Vancouver. Now, we are given to understand that these protesters are also demanding the release of Sikh prisoners in Indian jails. Amandeep has more details about this. Let's go across live to him right now. Amandeep, tell us more about what the demands are and also give us a broader sense of how people are reacting to these protests that are taking place in Vancouver now.
Well, Nupur, after London, now in Vancouver, these pro-Khalistani elements are protesting outside the Indian consulate office in Vancouver. And in fact, now they are demanding to release the Sikh prisoners who have lodged in the different jails in India as well. And meanwhile, they have also raised the demand of the Khalistan. Nupur, the fresh angle in this entire protest is that now they have started demanding the release of the Sikh prisoners who have lodged into the different jails in India and in fact who have completed their sentence. And even simultaneously, a protest is already being staged here in Punjab as well, with the similar demand to release the Sikh prisoners who have completed their sentence and lodged in the different jails. But this Khalistani movement is now getting combined with this protest which was demanding to release the Sikh prisoners. London, Australia, and now in Canada, certain kind of protests are visible by the pro-Khalistani elements. And in fact, Nupur, in the visuals, it was very much visible that how they are raising the flags of the Khalistan and standing outside the consulate office of India in Vancouver and raising the demand of Khalistan, and they have added another demand to release the Sikh prisoners from different jails in India. So the movement is actually escalating from one country to another country. They are pressing their demand. First it was Khalistan only, but now they have started demanding the release of the Sikh prisoners as well. And even if we just talk about the broader picture of this entire scenario is, Nupur, this movement is escalating and creating unrest for India itself. And in fact, in certain countries, the Ministry of External Affairs has taken up the issue with those countries in Australia, even in Canada, even in British also, that this movement is actually creating unrest in the Indian grounds, and in fact they should not be allowed to run their own agenda at the different countries just because from there they raise the voice, which is giving the negative impact in India. Yes.
Right. Amandeep, do stay with us. Let's also go across to Mr. R.P. Singh. Mr. R.P. Singh, do you see a clear linkage, to people who have been protesting similarly in various other parts of the country? Now, not just that, we've had several violent protests being reported.
Well, see, there's a clear policy of Pakistan, ISI, of K2, Kashmir and Khalistan. Since they are not able to do much in Kashmir now, and Kashmir is in the mainstream, now they started Khalistan as an issue and started pushing Khalistanis to rake up the issue of Khalistan. And I also appreciate Amandeep's point of view that the issue of the Bandi Singhs is also being raked up by people who are sitting abroad, who has nothing to do with the judicial process in India. And as far as Bandi Singhs go, I'm making categorically clear it's the issue of the state government. People are not aware that the subject, the law and order and the jail is the subject of the state. So if there are people who have completed their term and if they have to release, then they have to be released by the state government. Center has nothing to do into it. Only in case if there is someone who is notorious enough to be not to be released, then central will intervene. Otherwise, it's a state government decision. But yes, all these Khalistani elements, they do all these sort of activities in England or in UK or in Canada or in Australia, only to grab the media headlines. By doing so, they think probably they can get Khalistan or they can make Khalistan. They are foolish. They are highly mistaken.
Right.
That is on ground. There is nothing which is happening. I mean, they try to create disharmony by vandalizing the temples there. That's not going to happen in India, at least, between Hindus and Sikhs. We hail from the same cultural background, so that's not going to happen. But they try to do that, probably thinking that they can create some sort of disharmony abroad, or that's their objective. And then to grab some media headlines, stay in some news, because this being an election year, there are agencies who are trying to create a separate ecosystem that the government has failed to curb on such elements. The fact is, in India, on ground, there's no such activity at all. I mean, no one is supporting any Khalistani at all. And last thing which I want to remind, they should remember Jagdish Singh Chauhan. Jagdish Singh Chauhan was the first man to talk about Khalistan as subject, who started Khalistan currency, Khalistan flag, Khalistan passport. But at his last stage of life, he came to India. He stayed in India. He contested election from India, from Tanda, under Khalsa Raj party, and lost election and died a peaceful life. And died a peaceful death. So that's how the Khalistan movement is. So they can keep doing it, but it's ultimately to affect here in India at all.
So essentially you see this as, attempts to grab eyeballs and nothing else. Thank you very much, Mr. Singh, for joining us. So pictures on your screen are of a protest that are taking place today in Vancouver in Canada. Well, after victory from the Election Commission, the Shinde group has taken over the Shiva Sena's office in the Vidhan Bhavan. Visuals on your screen are of the Shinde group at the Shiva Sena's office in the Vidhan Bhavan, where they met with the Speaker Rahul Narvekar and asked him to hand over the Sena's office that was earlier sealed. So there you have it. Of course, there are other developments in this story. This comes even as the fact that there appears to have been a jolt to the Uddhav Thackeray faction with the Supreme Court. Essentially deciding to hear their plea over the essentially holding of this decision by the Election Commission. Now, apart from this, of course, we are also told that the Balasaheb Bhavan has been handed over to the faction that is led by the Chief Minister. Even as this happens, of course, there are continuously sharp divisions that remain, and we are given to understand that Uddhav Thackeray has decided to go to court against the Election Commission's decision to hand over the symbol as well as the name to Eknath Shinde's faction. Alicia has been reporting on this. She brings us the latest. Now, Alicia, as far as Uddhav Thackeray's faction is concerned, what are they thinking? How are they looking to proceed?
Well, over the decision that has been given by Election Commission of India of allotting Shiv Sena, that is a party name, and symbol bow and arrow to Eknath Shinde's faction. Here is the Uddhav Thackeray faction who already moved the Supreme Court challenging the order of Election Commission. But here is the CGI has clearly mentioned that the name is not mentioned in the list, which is why they have been asked to come tomorrow, because Uddhav Thackeray was actually expecting that the Supreme Court will hear the matter today, because that is what has been mentioned even by his legal team, where the senior advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who appeared for Uddhav Thackeray's faction, who mentioned that they have requested for an urgent hearing, but that does not happen because Chief Justice of India clearly mentioned that his name has not been mentioned in the list, which is why the hearing is going to take place tomorrow, whether they are going to even mention the application file. But on the other hand, there is a development that we have been witnessing, that right after getting the real Shiv Sena name, where Eknath Shinde's faction has already reached Vidhan Bhavan and led by Whip Chief Bhagat Gugavle, who has met Rahul Narvekar, and they also handed over an official letter to Vidhan Bhavan Speaker Rahul Narvekar asking for the possession of the Shiv Sena office in the Legislative Assembly, because that was something sealed during the Assembly, citing the split between the two parties. But now it has officially been handed over to Eknath Shinde's faction. And what is also we have been hearing, there could be now the National Executive Working Executive meeting that is going to happen, which will be called in by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde. And in this meeting, where the chief of the party leader, that is Shiv Sena party, will be appointed, and that is Eknath Shinde is going to be appointed, because earlier we saw that the Uddhav Thackeray was the chief of Shiv Sena party, and that has been maintained even by Eknath Shinde's faction after the split, because maintaining and the respect of Balasaheb Thackeray, the decision to continue Uddhav Thackeray as the chief of Shiv Sena party, but his term as the chief of Shiv Sena party has already ended. So now there will be the meeting that will be called in by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, and this meeting will be over the National Executive Working Committee meeting that is going to happen. And not only this, they are also going to decide decide over the show of strength that is going to happen. They are going to decide the dates to visit Ayodhya, because in the Ayodhya where what I've been told by the sources that it will be the show of strength that is going to happen in Ayodhya, and all the MLAs and MP along with the workers is going to participate in the same meeting. So they all have been waiting for Eknath Shinde, who is right now been taking a stock of the other meetings in the other districts as well. So tomorrow it could be possibility where he will going to call for a meeting. But yes, the office of the Shiv Sena in the Legislative Assembly has been officially handed over to Eknath Shinde's faction, who has been known as the real Shiv Sena.
All right, Alicia is bringing us all those details on this. Do stay with us. Let's also quickly go across to Sandeep, who has more news on this now. Sandeep, even as we are told that the Chief Minister's faction takes over, the operative parts of the Shiv Sena as a party in terms of, the not just the symbol, but also, places of work that were associated with it. What are you hearing in terms of how is Uddhav Thackre's faction likely to hit back now?
It is a very important point wherein as Election Commission has already taken a decision in the favor of Eknath Shinde, and as he has got the rights of the party as well as the symbol. Now, one of the most important point out here is whether it is party offices across Maharashtra and the bank accounts related to the party will be in fact be given to Eknath Shinde faction. But technicalities, there are few technicalities in handing over the bank accounts as well to Shinde faction. That will be something that will be, scrutinized by party members in the party meeting tomorrow by Shinde faction. Apart from that, now, as Alicia had mentioned, that today they have got the rights of the Legislative Party office out here in Vidhan Bhavan. It will be very much crucial to see what happens of the den of Shiv Sena, which was in fact established by late Bala Saheb Thackeray, that is Shiv Sena Bhavan. Who will stake claim on the Shiv Sena Bhavan, which is located in Mumbai's Dadar. So it will be very much crucial to see how far and how long this fight will go on. But yes, at this point of time, today Eknath Shinde faction Chief Whip Bharat Gogavle, and in fact several other leaders including Sada Sarvankar and several party leaders met Rahul Narvekar and in fact claimed the Legislative Party office in Vidhan Bhavan. It will be very much crucial to see what happens of Shiv Sena Bhavan, what happens to the bank accounts linked to Shiv Sena, what happens to the party offices across Maharashtra. Nupur.
Oh yes, absolutely. Sandeep, stay with us. Let me go back across to Alicia on this one now. Alicia, how do you see this unfolding? As Sandeep was pointing out that it's not just the Vidhan Sabha office that is, at the center of this. There will be other things as well.
Well, yes, Nupur, and that decision is to be taken over the meeting that is going to happen in the National Working Committee meeting that is going to happen led by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, where all the MLAs and the MPs are going to be present in this meeting, and not only the office in the Legislative Assembly, but also the office that also belongs to Uddhav Thackre's camp is what they're going to stake claim, because now it's for the real Shiv Sena, and real Shiv Sena is being recognized to the Eknath Shinde's faction is what according to the order of Election Commission of India. But also there is all eyes on the hearing that is going to happen tomorrow, because here the CJI has clearly mentioned that your name has not been listed and it's not been mentioned on the list, so you can come tomorrow. So there could be possibility that Uddhav Thackre's legal team who is going to go to the CJI and they are going to mention the application which has been challenging the order of Election Commission of India that mentioned that the party name Shiv Sena and symbol bow and arrow will be retained by Eknath Shinde's faction. Now we'll see what the Supreme Court will also say. But yes, there is a back-to-back development that we have been witnessing, the series of meetings that has been called, and most likely tomorrow, where the Eknath Shinde will be in Mumbai and he could call for a meeting. That will be a National Working Committee meeting in which not only the office in the Vidhan Bhavan but as well as the shakhas which also belongs to those Thackeray's faction will also be, they will stake claim. So that is the strategy that is going to be decided in the meeting.
All right, Alisha and Sandeep, both of you, thank you for joining us. As our reporters were pointing out, obviously this is going to be a long battle ahead for the Shiva Sena. Now, as the Enforcement Directorate's crackdown is underway in Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel has reacted, saying that today the ED has raided the houses of my colleagues, including the treasurer of the Chhattisgarh Pradesh Congress Committee and the former vice president of the party and an MLA. After 4 days, there is a Congress convention in Raipur. Our spirits cannot be broken by stopping our comrades engaged in preparations like this. The BJP is frustrated with the success of the Bharat Jodo Yatra and the truth of Adani being exposed. This raid is an attempt to divert attention.
कांग्रेस के 85वें अधिवेशन जो छत्तीसगढ़ में हो रहा है, उससे भारतीय जनता पार्टी घबराई हुई है। कांग्रेस के अधिवेशन को डिस्टर्ब करने के लिए, जैसा कि आशंका थी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने ईडी को आगे कर दिया है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी जब भी राजनीतिक मुकाबला नहीं कर पाती है तो ईडी, सीबीआई जैसी केंद्रीय संस्थाओं का दुरुपयोग करती है। छत्तीसगढ़ में कांग्रेस के अधिवेशन की देश दुनिया पे निगाहें जटी हुई हैं। कांग्रेस के अधिवेशन से भारतीय जनता पार्टी की साख पूरी तरीके से समाप्त होने का भय सता रहा है। इसीलिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी कांग्रेस के नेताओं के यहाँ छापे मरवा के कांग्रेस के अधिवेशन को डिस्टर्ब करना चाहती है। हम डरेंगे नहीं, हम झुकेंगे नहीं। हमारा यह अधिवेशन और ज़्यादा शानदार तरीके से संपन्न होगा। हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी के इस आताताई चरित्र का डट कर मुकाबला करेंगे। नरेंद्र मोदी जब जब डरते हैं तब तब ईडी, सीबीआई को आगे करते हैं।
Now, ED sources, of course, have said that they suspect that about 60 crore rupees was given to MLAs linked to the Congress party, and those are premises that have been raided today. Now, what the ED, of course, has said so far is that a cartel involving senior bureaucrats, businessmen, as well as politicians and middlemen was extorting money from the coal companies, and in fact a levy of about 25 rupees per ton was being taken for coal that was being transported into Chhattisgarh. Now, the proceeds of the crime, the ED has alleged, were being used for investing in Benami assets, bribing officials to influence senior officers, and also used by political parties for funding elections. So that is what the ED has said. It has filed a charge sheet before the PMLA court in Raipur against 8 people, including, of course, some of these Congress leaders. Well, news just coming in, we are learning that there has been another personal insult that has been directed at the Prime Minister. This is news that's just coming in. We're going to go across to Niranjan for more details. Niranjan, tell us more, please. All right, so news coming in seems to suggest that there has been another personal insult that has been directed at the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister's father has been insulted by Pawan Khera. That's what we know right now. So news just coming in. We are learning that there's been another personal attack that has been directed at the Prime Minister. Niranjan has more details on this. Yes, Niranjan, tell us more.
Well, it's a cheap dig by the Bharatiya Congress leader Pawan Khera. Pawan Khera has tried to take a dig at a Prime Minister by using his father's name to bring in Adani. And in this particular comment, he says, he refers to the Prime Minister's father as Narendra Gautam Das Modi. Gautam to take a dig at the Prime Minister using Adani. He takes a very cheap dig. The BJP saying it's a personal insult, and they're sort of hitting back at the Congress party, which is notorious for taking such cheap digs and making personal insults And this has just happened. It happened at a news conference, I think, earlier today, where the Congress party was speaking. Pawan Khera, he says, when referring to the Prime Minister, he says Narendra Gautam Das, and then he stops himself, he smirks, and he says Damodar Das. Instead of Damodar Das, he says Gautam to take a dig at the Prime Minister. This has happened a short while back. We'll try and get BJP leaders as well on the phone line. They've been tweeting about it. BJP has been tweeting about it. We'll get them on the phone line. A completely avoidable situation, but they've crossed all the limits now. Sort of, from niche politics to the personal comments that they've made over the years. This is perhaps the work to target the Prime Minister's father now. So this is a comment that has just been made, and I think the BJP is also responding to this right now as we speak.
All right. So as Niranjan is pointing out. All right, Shehzad Poonawalla on the phone line with us. Mr. Poonawalla, this is something that's completely below the belt and obviously does show us how low the Congress party can stoop.
This has become the DNA of the Congress party, that they time and again use abusive language, insulting language, and do not even shy away from targeting the family of the Prime Minister, right from abusing his samaj, his jati,
all right.
Can you hear me?
Right.
Should I continue?
Absolutely. So as you're pointing out, Shehzad Poonawalla from the BJP, thank you for that.
13 houses have been damaged due to land subsidence in the area of the Sangal Dance Duxar Nala in Ramban district of Jammu. Right now we are at the ground zero. Republic is reporting, the only channel reporting from the ground zero where this land subsidence has taken place, and here you can see that the land subsidence has taken place to a large extent. The houses, they have collapsed. This house, this was a triple story house, but is now limited to the 2.5 stories, as this has subsidized 50 meters from the original place where it actually was. What has happened? We'll try to speak to some of the locals here. Mataji, hua kya?
सारा मकान क्रैक हो गया मकान.
कितने बजे का वाकया है?
3 बजे बच्चा कटे अंदर 3 बजे माल बचाया, सब माल बचाया, निका बच्चा बचाया
जी.
मजदूरी करे, मजदूरदार बचाए, अपना मकान
लुट गया. हम कहीं जाएगा, किस खदाई में जाएगा, क्या करांगा?
Family is in grief. Around 50 people, they have lost their houses and they don't know what to do next. They don't know where to go next. We'll try to speak to some more people. मुझे ये बताइए क्या हुआ, पूरा वाकया क्या?
3 बजे सर, कल रात 3 बजे ये सारी स्लाइड ऊपर से आई, इसमें 13 कार निकल गए. उनको कोई नाबूद नहीं, वो सब निकल गए. 50 गार का खतरा और 15 गार ये नीचे है इसमें.
जब ये हुआ क्या हुआ?
ये हम सुते थे अंदर, हाँ, फिर भाग गए, सामान सब इधर ही रह गए. हम भाग गए इधर से, बच्चे बाहर निकाले हमने, हाँ, और माल शाल ऐसे अंदर से वो निकाला बाहर, पता नहीं कहाँ गया कहाँ नहीं. बस हम ऐसे बैठे.
क्या कहना चाहेंगे प्रशासन?
हम ये कहना चाहते हैं कि हमारे लिए कोई किसी जगह हमको भेजे थे, हमको शिफ्ट करने दे किसी जगह में.
You are watching Republic TV, and on the other side, more news your way. Massive scam unravels as 270 crore kickbacks is under the Enforcement Directorate scanner. And the Congress party is at it again, promotes tainted Jagdish Tytler.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
Chief Minister sir, there sir, ஒரு DMK counselor நாலு ஒரு soldier is dead. Chief Minister sir, Chief Minister sir, ஒரு army man கொல்லப்பட்டிருக்காரு. counselor. Badal Venu, Chief Minister, sir.
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்து உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
Action has been taken. Action has been taken.
Yeah.
But he's a DMK councillor. Why is the DMK not responding? But why is he not suspended or terminated from the party?
He has been arrested. He's in the jail now. What do you want me to do?
He's a party member, right?
Yeah, so he's been arrested. What you want to hang him?
Any claim or any statement from the Chief Minister or from you or any important leaders from it would have been, see, the family is demanding a job. But still he's a Jawan, right? But he still belongs to the nation.
He's been arrested.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान. तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब इफ यू कैन आंसर जस्ट बिकॉज टू क्लियर द स्टैंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ETO साहब व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग एक्शन, व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज साइलेंट?
What does the Hanuman with his mace and the
AIMIM chief Asauddin Owaisi's residence was attacked last evening. That's something what has been shared by none other but Owaisi himself in the series of tweets. First, let me give you a sense from where I'm reporting. This is the residence of Asauddin Owaisi, MP Lok Sabha, and the address is 34 Ashoka Road. What has been stated in the series of tweets by Asauddin Owaisi is that there were some people who have thrown stone inside and the glass has been broken, and there was the caretaker of Asauddin Owaisi who was inside. He has stated in the series of tweets that this is not the first time when this is happening, but after 2014 this is the fifth time when his house has been attacked, and he has raised question on the government that what exactly the security of the MPs in this Latian zone is. We are just waiting for the update, and we'll be just trying to talk to Asauddin Owaisi also what exactly he has to say. But in the series of tweets he has raised question on the security and on the law and order situation in the Latian Delhi. With video journalist Anup, I am Anuj, and this is Republic.
You are watching Republic, and still to come, mega crackdown in Chhattisgarh. The AD raids 14 locations. 2 Congress netas are under the scanner.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT 42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed now, which shows that the storm is coming as well. The HLFT 42, there was a picture of Lord Hanuman there, creating a lot of controversy. It was in theme with the design of the structure, but why the sudden decision by the HL to remove it?
No, it was in theme. It has nothing, no specific reasons for putting it over there.
What made them get so defensive and change their mind to the point of erasing the Hanuman logo? You can't remove a logo of a god. The Hanuman logo must be brought back.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन demanding the Khalistan. तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब, if you can answer just because to clear the stand of the government. ETO साहब, why the government is not taking action? Why the government is silent?
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்தோடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்தோடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சு.
Top headlines at 12:30. Mega ED crackdown in Chhattisgarh. 2 Vadra Congress leaders under lens. Searches underway at 14 locations. Sources tell Republic kickback diary accessed by the Enforcement Directorate. Massive coal scam unravels in Chhattisgarh as 270 crore kickbacks under ED scanner. Vadra Congress at it again, promotes and inducts the 1984 tainted Jagdish Tytler in the list of Congress delegates.
भागीदारी के लिए विभिन्न देशों से संपर्क किया गया तथा निवेश प्रोत्साहन हेतु विभिन्न देशों के 21 शहरों तथा देश के प्रमुख नगरों मुंबई, बेंगलुरु, हैदराबाद, चेन्नई.
Major face-off inside UP Assembly as SP leaders create ruckus. After Election Commissioner Uddhav Thackeray faces setback from the top court. Alright, thanks for tuning in this Monday morning. We are live and breaking. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. We start with the news break coming in from Chhattisgarh, where the ED raids are underway. We're given to understand that several Congress leaders are also under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. Meanwhile, kickbacks amounting to over 200 crore rupees is also being looked into by the central agency. The first visuals on your screens right now of the ED searches being carried out in at least 14 locations. In Chhattisgarh, we are given to understand that Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel's aides are also under scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. Remember, this comes just days ahead of the plenary session of the Congress that will be taking place in the state of Chhattisgarh, and just ahead of the meet of the Congress party, ED raids being carried out at several locations in Chhattisgarh. A reaction that has also come in from the Congress leaders. Let's listen in.
कांग्रेस के 85वें अधिवेशन जो छत्तीसगढ़ में हो रहा है, उससे भारतीय जनता पार्टी घबराई हुई है। कांग्रेस के अधिवेशन को डिस्टर्ब करने के लिए, जैसा कि आशंका थी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने ईडी को आगे कर दिया है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी जब भी राजनीतिक मुकाबला नहीं कर पाती है तो ईडी, सीबीआई जैसी केंद्रीय संस्थाओं का दुरुपयोग करती है। छत्तीसगढ़ में कांग्रेस के अधिवेशन की देश दुनिया पर निगाहें जटी हुई हैं। कांग्रेस के अधिवेशन से भारतीय जनता पार्टी की साख पूरी तरीके से समाप्त होने का भय सता रहा है। इसीलिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी कांग्रेस के नेताओं के यहाँ छापे मरवा के कांग्रेस के अधिवेशन को डिस्टर्ब करना चाहती है। हम डरेंगे नहीं, हम झुकेंगे नहीं। हमारा यह अधिवेशन और ज़्यादा शानदार तरीके से संपन्न होगा। हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी के इस आताताई चरित्र का डट कर मुकाबला करेंगे। नरेंद्र मोदी जब जब डरते हैं तब ईडी, सीबीआई को आगे करते हैं।
ED now stands for eliminating democracy in Mr. Modi's dictionary. We are not scared. We will not be nervous. They are nervous because of the success of Bharat Jodo Yatra. They are nervous about the Adani expose. And now we have our plenary in Chhattisgarh and they are trying to discourage us. We are not afraid.
All right, so a lot of reactions coming in. Congress, they're crying foul, and as we speak, the search is taking place at least 14 locations in Chhattisgarh.
कि भाई जनता का पैसा गया है चिट फंड कंपनी में 6000 करोड़, कहीं न कहीं तो इन्वेस्ट हुआ है, कहीं न कहीं मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग हुआ है। मैंने तो गृह मंत्री को चिट्ठी लिखा, इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टर को चिट्ठी लिखा, इसकी जांच करिए। नान घोटाले में ईडी 4 साल से जांच कर रही है, आज तक नहीं बता पाई कि सीएम सर और सीएम मैडम कौन है। इस डॉक्टर रमन सिंह कह रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस महाधिवेशन के नाम पर कैश बैंक चला रही है। उसको तो वही समझ आता है। वो बताया ना कि जिन कार्यालयों को उद्घाटन किया था चिट फंड कंपनियों का, उसकी जांच की मांग क्यों नहीं करते। और वो रमन सिंह जी जब जब इस प्रकार के छापा पड़ते हैं वो प्रवक्ता बन जाते हैं। जरूर कभी आईटी के प्रवक्ता बनते हैं, कभी ईडी के प्रवक्ता बन जाते हैं। ये तो प्रवक्ता बने हुए हैं और वही करवा रहे हैं, क्योंकि खिसियानी बिल्ली खंबा नोचे। 15 साल में जो काम नहीं कर पाए वो 4 साल के सरकार ने कर दिखाया और जनता का दिल जीता है। छत्तीसगढ़ के मजदूर हो, किसान हो, आदिवासी हो, महिला हो, व्यापारी हो, उद्योग जगत हो, सारे तरफ सब तरफ छत्तीसगढ़ सरकार की सफलता का डंका पूरे प्रदेश नहीं पूरे देश में बज रहा है। और उससे बेचैन है भारतीय जनता पार्टी और खासकर रमन सिंह।
ईडी जब भी कार्रवाई करती है तो बीजेपी के नेता कहते हैं, ईडी जब भी कार्रवाई करती है तो बीजेपी के नेता कहते हैं कि ईडी एक निष्पक्ष जांच एजेंसी है, वो अपना रूटीन कार्रवाई कर रही है। कांग्रेस के नेता को डरने की क्या जरूरत है, जब जांच के बाद जब आएगा तो दूध का दूध पानी का पानी हो जाएगा।
एक चीज बताइए, ये किस मामले में जांच कर रहे हैं, ये पता है आपको? और अधिवेशन के ठीक पहले करने का आवश्यकता क्या है? अधिवेशन के पहले भी कर सकते थे। यदि जिन मामलों की वो बात करते थे कर रहे हैं उनमें पहले भी कर सकते थे, महीने 2 महीने पहले भी कर सकते थे, महीने भर बात कर सकते थे। लेकिन ठीक अधिवेशन के 4 दिन पहले करना क्या बताता है? इधर से कोई सवाल
चर्चा है।
हाँ जी, चर्चा है। पिछले समय आप देखें ईडी के प्रेस नोट के पहले रमन सिंह का प्रेस नोट जारी हो जाता है और हूबहू वही जो रमन सिंह ट्वीट करते हैं, प्रेस विज्ञप्ति जारी करते हैं, वही प्रेस नोट हूबहू शब्दशः जारी ईडी के प्रवक्ता जारी करते हैं। तो क्या ईडी का उपयोग भारतीय जनता पार्टी कर रही है या रमन सिंह ईडी का प्रवक्ता है?
8 साल के अगर आंकड़े की बात करें 2014 95% छापा जो है पश्चिम बंगाल पर पड़ा है। क्या इसको बनाने
दूसरी बात भी बताऊंगा, ये आदरणीय मोहन मरकाम जी ने आंकड़े सब दिए किस किस विपक्षी दल को कितने कितने छापे पड़े। ये भी बताना चाहूँगा कि 5000 ईडी के छापे पड़े, अभी तक के उसमें से 33 ही वो प्रमाणित कर पाए। इतना खराब परफॉर्मेंस है उसका। कौन सा डॉक्यूमेंट?
कांग्रेस क्यों करे? किसके?
किसको? कौन सा डॉक्यूमेंट? हाँ तो भाई ऐसा है, नान के बारे में ईडी जांच कर रही ना, 4 साल हो गया और हम तो सवाल पूछ रहे हैं कि रमन सिंह से सवाल पूछे थे विधानसभा में कि सीएम सर और सीएम मैडम कौन है। और रमन सिंह जी के ही अधिकारी उस समय जब मुख्यमंत्री थे तब उसके अधिकारी ने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके कहा था, और आप सब पत्रकार उसमें अधिकांश लोग थे, पैसा उस डोमेन में गया है जिसमें हम जांच नहीं कर सकते। कौन सा वो क्षेत्र है जहाँ गया उसकी जांच नहीं कर सकते? कि नागपुर गया था, कि दिल्ली गया था, कि लखनऊ गया था, कि तत्कालीन जो सीएम हाउस है वहाँ सीएम जहाँ रहते थे वहाँ गया था? कौन सा एरिया है रुपेश जी?
एक नाम आता है विनोद तिवारी का, दूसरी चीज है कि विनोद तिवारी को शख्स ने जो है रमन सिंह के खिलाफ।
Alright, so there you heard Bhupesh Baghel, the Chhattisgarh Chief Minister, crying foul over the ED searches being carried out in at least 14 locations in the state. Remember, the searches come just ahead of the plenary session of the Grand Ole Party, which would be taking place, a 3-day event of the Grand Ole Party. Meanwhile, several of the leaders of the Congress are also under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. At least 2 Congress MLAs are being probed, in fact, are under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate in the school scam. The searches being carried out in at least 14 locations in Chhattisgarh. As we speak, remember earlier today, Bhupesh Baghel had also tweeted where he said, and I quote, "Today the ED has raided the houses of my colleagues, including the treasurer of Chhattisgarh Pradesh Congress Committee, the former vice president of the party and an MLA. After 4 days, there is a Congress convention in Raipur. Our spirits cannot be broken by stopping our comrades engaged in preparations like this. BJP is frustrated with the success of Bharat Jodo Yatra and the truth of Adani being exposed. The raid is an attempt to divert attention." So Congress is saying that the ED searches are being carried out to divert attention from the Adani matter.
दरअसल पवन खेड़ा जो है कांग्रेस के प्रवक्ता, वो ब्रीफ कर रहे थे, तो उस दौरान उन्होंने उनके पिता को लेकर मजाक उड़ाया, प्रधानमंत्री के पिता के नाम को लेकर, दामोदर मोदी है या फिर गौतम।
देखिए, राजनीति आप जो भी करेंगे, प्रधानमंत्री को क्रिटिसाइज करिए, खुलकर करिए, बेखौफ होकर करिए, मगर किसी की फैमिली पर मत जाइए, चाहे वो प्रधानमंत्री की फैमिली हो या कांग्रेस के नेताओं की फैमिली हो या किसी भी नेता की फैमिली हो। फैमिली को क्यों लेकर आते आप? फैमिली को क्या करना है? ये गलत है। किसी की फैमिली को क्यों लेकर आते आप? आपको इख्तियार ही नहीं है। यानी इस तरह से आप अटैक करेंगे फैमिली के ऊपर, तो ये आपका फ्रस्ट्रेशन जाहिर होता है। जुनैद और नसीर को किडनैप करके उनको पीट कर उनको जिंदा जला दिया जा सकता है, तो फिर मैं कौन सी खेत की मूली हूँ? और जो भी ये कर रहे हैं उनके हौसले इसलिए बुलंद हो रहे हैं क्योंकि उनको मालूम कि उनके पॉलिटिकली आइडियोलॉजिकली उनकी पार्टी सत्ता में है, और इसीलिए चाहे जुनैद हो, नसीर हो या जहाँ कहीं भी इस तरह से दलितों को, आदिवासियों को होता है, तो फिर असदुद्दीन ओवैसी एमपी ज़रूर है, मगर अब उनके हौसले बुलंद हैं। वो लोग रेडिकलाइज हो चुके हैं और उनको लगता है कि वायलेंस के ज़रिए से वो अपने एजेंडे को मुकम्मल कर सकते हैं। तो ये चौथी मर्तबा मेरे घर पर हमला हुआ है, और आप देख रहे हैं कि 10 कदम के फासले पर दिल्ली पुलिस का हेडक्वार्टर है, और ये बाजू ECI है, हाई सिक्योरिटी जोन है, इतने कैमराज हैं। मगर कल 12:30 बजे DCP साहब आए थे, हम उनको यही बोले कि आप देख लीजिए, अपने कैमरास में देख लीजिए, निकाल लीजिए उनको। ये हर बार हमसे होता है। पिछले बार पिछली गेट से हम स्पीकर साहब से इजाज़त लेकर पिछली गेट का परमिशन खुलाए, क्योंकि एक बार अंदर घुसकर हमारे जो डोमेस्टिक हेल्पर हैं, जो 50-60 साल से यहाँ पर है, राजू लाल को उन्होंने पीटा था, वहाँ पर जाकर उन्होंने यूपी इलेक्शन के दौरान में लाइव टेलीकास्ट फेसबुक पर करके पत्थर मारे। अब ये हो रहा है, तो ये मुझे लगता है कि हम लोग और आप न्यू इंडिया देख रहे हैं।
सर, किस पर शक है? कौन लोग हो सकते हैं?
मुझे नहीं मालूम कौन लोग हो सकते हैं। यकीनन ये वही लोग हो सकते हैं जो नाथूराम गोडसे की आइडियोलॉजी को मानते हैं, जो वायलेंस पर भरोसा रखते हैं, जो रूल ऑफ लॉ और संविधान को ख़त्म करना चाहते हैं और नफ़रत को आम करना चाहते हैं।
Alright, we slip into a very short break for now, but news break and top stories to continue on the other side as well. Vadra Congress does it again, promotes and inducts the 1984 tainted Jagdish Tytler in the list of Congress delegates. Major face-off inside the UP Assembly as SP leaders create ruckus.
अरे पडते रे ते खाली सगळे.
ஒரு டிஎம்கே கவுன்சிலர் நாலோ ஒரு சோல்ஜர் ஸ்டேட் चीफ मिनिस्टर सर चीफ मिनिस्टर सर ஒரு ஆர்மி மேன் கொல்லப்பட்டிருக்காரு वो काउंसलर பதில் வேணும் चीफ मिनिस्टर सर
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்து உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
Mr. Paramveer Singh, you fabricated evidences in TVRP scam. Are you ashamed of it? Are you sorry for it? Who were your political bosses? Who gave you orders? Are you ashamed of the fact that to Republic?
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்து உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
ETO साहब अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान, तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब इफ यू कैन आंसर जस्ट बिकॉज टू क्लियर द स्टैंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ETO साहब व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग एक्शन, व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज साइलेंट?
भाग आहे. कुठलेही कायदेशीर बाजू तपासून त्या बाबतीतला निर्णय पक्षाचे प्रमुख घेतील, परंतु जे आमच्याकडे आहे त्याबद्दल काही विशेष नाही. परंतु एक गोष्ट मात्र नक्की की शिवसेना पक्षाच्या सर्वच्या सर्व 56 आमदारांना प्रतोदानी निर्णय दिलेला आहे की जो व्हीप किंवा पक्षप्रतोद ज्या पद्धतीनं पत्र देतील, व्हीपचं उल्लंघन कुणीही करणार नाही. आणि जो आदेश प्रतोदाच्या माध्यमातून सगळ्या सदस्यांना 56 सदस्यांना लागू होईल, तो सर्वांना लागू होईल. त्यामुळे प्रतोदाच्या कुठल्याही व्हीपचं उल्लंघन कुणीही करू नये असं स्पष्टपणे आम्ही 56 आहोत. मी सारखं तेच म्हणतोय, आम्ही सगळे 56 एकत्र आहोत ना.
जसं तुम्ही कार्यालय घेतलंय तसं पार्टी फंड आहे, तो पार्टी फंडावर
काय भूमिका असणार आहे? शिवसेनेचा जो काही पार्टी फंड आहे त्याच्या संदर्भात काय भूमिका असणार?
एक तुम्हाला सांगतो, या ठिकाणी स्पष्ट करतो
पार्टी ही लढाई जी आहे ही पार्टी फंड किंवा शिवसेना भवन बळकवणं यासाठी हे नव्हता. तुम्ही कन्फ्यूज करू नका. आम्हाला ह्या पक्षाचं चिन्ह, पक्षाचं नाव हे महत्त्वाचं होतं आणि त्याच्यासाठी जी काही लढाई निवडणूक आयोगाकडे चालली होती त्या संदर्भामध्ये झालेला जो निर्णय, त्या निर्णयाच्या अनुसरून आज आम्ही पक्ष कार्यालयामध्ये जाऊन एक बैठक घेतलेली आहे. बाकी इतर विषयाशी जे संबंधित आहेत, मग शिवसेना भवनाचं काय, तर आम्ही पहिलेच एकदा स्पष्ट केलं की शिवसेना भवनवर आम्ही कोणत्याही प्रकारचा अधिकार सांगणार नाही. शिवसेना भवन हे आमच्यासाठी मंदिर आहे. जरी काही लोकांना प्रॉपर्टी वाटत असली तरी आम्ही जेव्हा केव्हा त्या शिवसेनेच्या त्या रस्त्याने जेव्हा जाऊ तर त्या शिवसेना भवनला निश्चित नमन करू. ही आमची भूमिका प्रामाणिकपणे.
We will always bow down to Shivsena Bhavan, but we are not claiming, we are not seeking claim to it right now.
ताब्यात घ्यायचं ज्याला का त्या पैशाचा लोभ आहे त्यांनी त्या गोष्टी करा, त्याच्याशी आमचं काही घेणं देणं नाही. एकीकडे शिवसैनिकाला जो पाळीव कुत्रा जो संबोधतोय त्या लोकांचं ते काम आहे, आमचं ते काम नाही. आम्हाला शिवसेना प्रमुखांचे विचार पुढे घेऊन जायचं आणि शिवसेना प्रमुखांची
We are only concentrating on taking forward the legacy of Shivsena Chief Balsaheb Thackeray.
बघा, शाखा ह्या पक्षामार्फत अशा कोणत्याही शाखा विकत घेतलेल्या नाहीये. मला कल्पना आहे जे काही ट्रस्टच्या माध्यमात असेल तर तो त्यांची प्रॉपर्टी आहे, ट्रस्टची प्रॉपर्टी असू शकते. एखाद्या वेळेला मी ज्या ठिकाणी मी आमदार आहे, माझं कार्यालय आहे, हे कार्यालय मी स्थापन केलेलं आहे, त्याला शिवसेना नाव होतं आणि आजही ते शिवसेनाचं नाव राहणार आहे. म्हणून असा शाखेचं काही असे आदलाबदल असे काही मोठ्या प्रमाणात होणार नाही आणि शिवसैनिकामध्ये कधी यासाठी भांडणं होणार नाही.
There won't be any fight over the properties.
संजय राऊतने जे 2000 कोटीचे आरोप लावलेले आहेत, मी पहिल्यांदाही सांगितलं की त्या संजय राऊतच्या डोक्यावर झालेला परिणाम आहे आणि म्हणून अशा सायको माणसाच्या प्रत्येक प्रश्नाला उत्तर देणं हे आम्हाला उचित वाटत नाही.
Shivsena leader is calling Sanjay Raut a psycho person and says that we don't deem it fit to respond to his allegations of
म्हणून आम्ही आज बैठकीमध्ये सुद्धा याच्यावर थोडीशी चर्चा झालेली. त्याचं डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन कसं होईल ह्याची निश्चित कारवाई आम्ही करणार आहोत. डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन झाली पाहिजे. दुसरी गोष्ट, त्यांनी जे काही मुख्यमंत्री साहेबाबद्दल अपशब्द बोललेले आहेत त्या संदर्भात तुम्ही आता पाहत असाल
we will look into disqualification of Sanjay Raut because he has also spoken against, he has used certain words against Shinde, the kind of language that he used against the chief
minister. आमची संस्कृती नाही, शिवसेना प्रमुखांनी आम्हाला ती शिकवण दिलेली नाही. म्हणून हत्ती चले बाजार, कुत्ते भोके हजार अशी ते अवस्था आहे. म्हणून त्याच्यावर आम्ही जास्त काही भाष्य करणार नाही. त्या चिखलामध्ये दगड मारून चिखल आमच्या अंगावर उडवणे घेणे इतकं आम्ही मूर्ख नाहीत.
संजय राऊतांनी असं म्हटलेलं आहे की चोरांच्या टोळीने आज कार्यालयावरती दावा टाकलेला आहे आणि फाडकळ चालला.
त्याला आता याचं उत्तर आता थोडा 1-8 दिवस थांबा, त्याचं उत्तर त्याला दिलं जाईल. अरे कुत्रं पिसळलं तर काय कुत्र्याला चावत असतात का? त्याला आपण कोणतं तरी औषध देऊन त्याला शांत करू ना. थांबा थोडा.
सर, हिंदी में जानना चाहेंगे, इलेक्शन कमीशन की ओर से निर्णय के बाद
we will give some medicine to the person who is shouting a lot right now.
उसको लेकर आपकी
एक बात देखिए कि इलेक्शन कमिश्नर जो आदेश दिया है, शिवसेना का अधिकृत मान्यता हमको मिली है और ये विधान भवन है. विधान भवन में काम करते वक्त पक्ष कार्यालय जो भी होता है हर पार्टी को कार्यालय दिया है. भाजपा का कार्यालय, हमारा कार्यालय, हर पार्टी का कार्यालय. हमने वही शिवसेना का कार्यालय जो है उसी में जाके हमारा कामकाज शुरू किए. आज जैसे प्रताप सरनाइक ने जो बताया है, ये व्हिप भी हम जो निकाल रहे हैं ये 56 विधायकों को दिया है. 56 विधायक सभी हमारे पूरे विधायक जो व्हिप नहीं मानेंगे उनका क्या भगवान जाने क्या होगा, लेकिन व्हिप देना ये पार्टी की तरफ से हमारी जिम्मेदारी बनती है. इसलिए हमारे मुख्य प्रतोद ये जो अर्थसंकल्पीय अधिवेशन रहेगा उसका व्हिप सबको बजाएंगे और उनका व्हिप मानना ये उनकी नैतिक जवाबदारी रहेगी. नहीं तो उनके ऊपर भी डिस्क्वालीफाई की कार्रवाई हो सकती है.
क्या विधान भवन के साथ-साथ और सेना भवन है और दूसरी जो शाखा है जो कि उद्धव ठाकरे के,
देखो हमने बार-बार ये चीज़ों को स्पष्ट किया है. सेना भवन ये हमारे लिए मंदिर है. शिवसेना प्रमुख ने बनाया हुआ वो मंदिर जहां हमारे बहुत सारी मीटिंगें हुआ करती थी, लेकिन कुछ लोगों को लगता है कि वो प्रॉपर्टी है तो हम जाके उनकी प्रॉपर्टी पे हाथ नहीं डालेंगे. लेकिन जहां उस रास्ते से जब गुजरेंगे
तो निश्चित हम वहाँ नमन करेंगे। ये हमारे लिए वो मंदिर है, हम उनको नमन करेंगे और भगवान से भी बोलेंगे कि ये शिवसेना बहुत अच्छा रहे और अच्छा रहे, इसमें कोई बाधा ना है।
मुख्यमंत्री के नेतृत्व में एक नेशनल कमेटी मीटिंग भी होने वाली है, जिसमें मुख्यमंत्री के नेतृत्व में एक नेशनल कमेटी मीटिंग भी होने वाली है। बताया जा रहा है कि उसमें अब ऑफिशियल तौर पर कहीं एकनाथ शिंदे को ही शिवसेना का चीफ माना जाएगा।
ये सब पार्टी डिसाइड करेंगे। पार्टी की जो वरिष्ठ हमारे सब नेता है, वो नेता की बैठक होगी, वो बैठक में उसका निर्णय लिया जाएगा। कोई शाखा का झगड़ा नहीं है, ये झगड़ा क्यों लगा रहे हो बार बार? कोई शाखा का हमारा झगड़ा नहीं है, वो सब हमारे शिव सैनिक है। क्यों हमारे एक में का सर फोड़वाने की तैयारी कर रहे हो? हम एक में का सर फोड़ेंगे नहीं, उनको भी समझाएंगे और हम भी समझ लेंगे। कोई हम आपस में झगड़ा करना नहीं है, हम बाला साहब के शिव सैनिक है, इसलिए झगड़ा करने की कोई वजह नहीं।
उद्धव ठाकरे और संजय राउत की ओर से ये बताया जा रहा है कि उन्होंने धनुष्य बाण और शिवसेना की चोरी की है, एक चोर तरीके से।
अरे वो संजय राउत पागल आदमी है, उसके कहा उसके बार बार उसका ये करते रहते हो, जिक्र करते हो।
सर, संजय राउत ने ये भी कहा है कि अमित शाह जी ने महाराष्ट्र और मराठी।
संजय राउत पागल आदमी है, उसके बारे में बार बार मत पूछो। कुत्ता अगर पागल होता है तो कुत्तों को थोड़ी अपन काटते हैं,
लेकिन
ऐसा मत सोचो ना यार।
उद्धव ठाकरे ने भी यही स्टेटमेंट दिया है कि चोरी की गई है नाम की और साथ ही।
अरे भैया, पुलिस स्टेशन में जाके रिपोर्ट दर्ज करा है, उसकी पूरी ये हो जाएगी, चौकसी हो जाएगी, और क्या कर सकते हैं।
कल उन्होंने मोगेम को खुशवाई कहा है अमित शाह को, जिस तरह से शिवसेना चुनाव चिन्ह दिया गया।
देखो, उद्धव साहब बड़े नेता है, उनके बारे में मैं कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा।
अरे सरनाई साहब
ஒரு டிஎம்கே கவுன்சிலர் நால ஒரு சோல்ஜர் ஸ்டேட் चीफ मिनिस्टर सर चीफ मिनिस्टर सर ஒரு ஆர்மி மேன் கொல்லப்பட்டிருக்காரு वो கவுன்சிலர் பதில் வேணும் चीफ मिनिस्टर सर
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்து உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way, and thanks to Arnab ji also, who has brought it to the national attention.
Action has been taken.
Action has been taken. Yeah. But he's a DMK councillor. Why is the DMK not responding? But why is he not suspended or terminated from the party?
He has been arrested. He's in the jail now. What do you want me to do?
He's a party member, right?
Yeah, so he's been arrested. What do you want to hang him?
Any scene or any statement from the chief minister or from you or any important leaders from it would have been. See, the family is demanding a job. But still, he's a Jawan, right? But he still belongs to the nation.
He's been arrested. ETO साहब, अमृतपाल सिंह रनिंग अ कैंपेन डिमांडिंग द खालिस्तान. तो गवर्नमेंट क्यों साइलेंट है? ETO साहब, गवर्नमेंट कोई जवाब नहीं दे रही है उस पे. ETO साहब, इफ यू कैन आंसर जस्ट बिकॉज टू क्लियर द स्टैंड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. ETO साहब, व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट टेकिंग एक्शन? व्हाई द गवर्नमेंट इज साइलेंट?
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT 42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed now, which shows that the storm is coming as well. The HLFT 42, there was a picture of Lord Hanuman there, creating a lot of controversy. It was in theme.
afternoon and thank you for tuning in. You're watching live and breaking at 1 p.m. I'm Suesha Sound and we get you the latest updates as the Shiv Sena news briefing that just concluded and the Sena office that has been taken over by the Shinde faction. Latest updates on that and the other top stories we're tracking. A quick check of the headlines first up. Mega ED crackdown in Chhattisgarh. 2 Vadra Congress leaders under the lens. Searches underway at 14 locations. Sources tell Republic kickback diary accessed by the Enforcement Directorate. Massive school scam unravels in Chhattisgarh as 270 crore kickbacks under ED scanner. Vadra Congress is at it again, promoting and inducting the 1984 tainted Jagdish Tytler in the list of Congress delegates.
भागीदारी के लिए विभिन्न देशों से संपर्क किया गया तथा निवेश प्रोत्साहन हेतु विभिन्न देशों के 21 शहरों तथा देश के
Major face-off inside Uttar Pradesh Assembly as SP leaders create massive ruckus. After Election Commission, now Uddhav Thackeray faces setback from the top court, where the top court refused to hear the matter on an urgent basis. And details we are getting you first up of tainted Congress leader Jagdish Tytler, who was also an accused in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots. He is officially back in the Congress as his name was included in the delegates team of the All India Congress Committee, that is AICC, in the plenary session scheduled to be held in Chhattisgarh. Remember, there are several instances of how Jagdish Tytler, despite the charges that are on him, has been inducted by the Congress party officially on very many occasions. First up, reactions coming in on this.
टाइटलर 1984 के मामले में लिप्त हैं। उन्होंने 84 के जो कत्लेआम हुआ था उसमें हिस्सेदारी करी थी और 84 में सिखों का कत्ल भी किया था। कांग्रेस ये कहती है कि सीबीआई ने क्लीन चिट दी। सच ये है कि अभी सीबीआई कोर्ट ने 3 मार्च की तारीख लगाई है, जिसमें सीबीआई को बोला गया कि वो जो विटनेसेस जिनको टाइटलर ने इन्फ्लुएंस कर बाहर भेजा था, उनके विटनेसेस रिकॉर्ड करके लेकर आए। और अभी एक की विटनेस है जिसका नार्को टेस्ट भी हो गया है। अब क्योंकि टाइटलर के गले में फंदा लगा हुआ है, इसलिए कांग्रेस उनको बचाव के लिए उनको महत्व देती है। और मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं टाइटलर कांग्रेस को ब्लैकमेल भी करता है कि उसका बहुत ऐसी जानकारी जिससे स्पष्ट होगा कि राजीव गांधी का किस प्रकार 1984 में जो कत्लेआम हुआ था उसमें हाथ था।
And cutting across to my colleague Anuj, who's joining us live on the broadcast. Anuj, the list is endless of how many times this has been